Let's go!
Welcome back to the 11th edition of the EBL Podcast. Probably the quickest turnaround we've ever had in podcast history. I think that's a good sign for us going forward. Or, maybe this will be the last one for like 8 months. We'll see. Who knows? Time will tell. But we are going to do our traditional pre-season team-by-team podcast. We're going to touch on some things that we didn't get to touch on the preview because it was before TC happened. So we're just going to go down the list, talk a little bit about everyone, and then give some predictions and stuff at the end. I am joined for the 11th time on the 11th podcast by Wick. Wick, welcome in.
Thank you very much. Good to be back on. And yes, this has been a very quick turnaround. Feels like we were here only a few days ago.
I know.
So yeah, we'll see how much we have to talk about. But hopefully we'll have enough content.
Might be a quick team-by-team podcast. I don't know. We'll see. And then joining us for the second time in a row, welcome in back to the podcast, Devonta. Welcome back.
Happy to be back. Like I said, it was a quick turnaround, and I promised you I was going to come back, and here I am. So,
yep, a man of his word.
Promises kept.
A man of his word.
We love a man of his word. Dan cannot join us tonight. So he just wanted to make sure that he put out his review of the teams. He wanted to make sure he known that the Bucks are shit and the Knicks are also shit, but they're the title favorite shit. So, Thank you for your contribution, Dan. We appreciate you. Sorry you can't join us. We'll get you on next time. So this is gonna be the traditional team by team. We're gonna go. I forget who we started with last time, so we'll just start with the East and go down that way. And we'll just if we started with the East last time, who cares? It's been so long, whatever at this point. And then before we start, though, I just want to give a quick shout out because, we are able now to use not only the stat site while we're looking at the team by team stuff, but also the brand new shiny EBL Almanac. And I know we kind of touched on it a little bit on the last podcast, but not enough has gone into saying like this is the greatest thing that's happened to EBL in its probable history. Short of Mofo running the league, MSC has definitely done the most for this league. In terms of, just keeping us afloat, giving us a server, giving us, a stat site, and now building this almanac from scratch where we can easily see. I don't even need Wick anymore to give me stats. You know what I mean? Like this invention has completely cleared my need for Wick. So, I mean, what else can be said, you know?
Well, MSC, it's great that you made that almanac. It's really impressive, but you did put me out of the job. So fuck
yeah, it's
this
definitely it's definitely a game inside of a game.
Yeah,
I used to be the stats guy. That was my thing. That was my identity, and now a part of me has been taken away.
Yeah.
So
at a time where you're already looking for jobs,
exactly,
already interviewing,
now
you have another one taken away, right?
Yeah. Oh, your side hustle's just going to shit. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm really excited for us to get a couple of Sims in so we could kind of look at the metrics of it.
100%.
That's going to be really exciting. Because then it kind of takes the game to a whole nother level because we get to look at different like efficiency numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Defensive ratings, offensive ratings. So now we're not just guessing like, oh, this guy's just not a good defender or because we're looking at box scores, like, oh, he gave up 30 to this guy. Who said he gave up the whole 30 to him, But we just go off of that, just kind of box score watches. So now it's going to be a different metric, and we love that, MSC. We really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's already been a huge game changer for me with looking up, the draft and free agents and training camp. I mean, the training camp feature is so unbelievably cool. Everything about it has been, just so far has been great. I can't wait to get into the league year and start playing around with it some more and figuring some more stuff out. So huge shout out to MSC. I know you don't like this. I know you prefer we talk shit about you, and I'm sorry.
I did a little bit.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Wick tried to make you feel a little more home.
I really do appreciate all the work you put into that. application, and you're actually probably one of the reasons why I'm still looking for a job in another way, because I spent so much time on the Almanac exploring it rather than applying for fucking jobs. So
Wick's gonna be 30. Wick's gonna be 30 years old trying to find a job. Still like, I can't get off the damn almanac.
Yeah, and I find a new feature every time. It's like the level of detail and just the amount of different features just boggles my mind.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention is it's never been a better time to be a new GM in EBL who is brand new to the FBB and brand new to the league. I mean, you have so many tools at your disposal. There's so much here that you can explore and learn and play around with. I mean, you know, if you want to be a good GM, if you really want to like take this a little bit seriously, then you know, this is kind of what you need to be looking at. This is what you need to be playing around with. This is going to tell you everything you need to know. You know, if you can't figure the league out with this almanac at you know, at your fingertips, I don't know what to tell you at this point. So
I have a side question. Y'all think Brum knows there's an almanac?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely serious.
No.
All right, go ahead. No. Happy birthday, Brum. If you're watching, probably not. It's okay. Happy birthday, Brum.
Happy birthday, Dropsy. We love you.
Maybe that's how he made his draft list, though. So, you know, the almanac could have played a part in that. Oh Lord. All right. Let's start with our team by team. Shout out MSC. Thank you again. We appreciate you. We'll try to talk a little more shit during your team so that you don't feel out of place here. So we'll start with the East, start with the Atlantic. We'll start with the Boston Celtics, who you know, didn't do too much in the offseason other than draft, which is fine. That's kind of what they needed to do anyway. It's not like they, you know, needed to make some big moves, and they're not in a position for that right now. So obviously the huge plus for them in this training camp, or this training camp, was Dane Mayo. He looks like he has all the potential to be one of the top talents in the league, whether it's a point guard or a shooting guard at this point, because he does have the size for shooting guard. You know, at a huge training camp for him, exactly what H-Dog needed on that. Otherwise, you know, this is still a rebuilding team. They're definitely not doing anything this year. They are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. There's no doubt about that, unfortunately. Wick, overall thoughts on the Boston Celtics?
Yeah, you summed it up really well. Unlike years past, there's some hope on this roster. Finally, now that they're fully rebuilding, I'm really excited to see Dane Mayo. I think they should probably give the keys to him this year.
Yes.
I don't know if Target can play shooting guard, but he would be a prime trade candidate for me if I'm H-Dog. I think you could get a pretty big haul for him.
Devonta?
Yeah, Devonta? It's crazy.
Sorry,
but yeah,
it's gonna take some time for me. So shout out to my incorrectness previously. I've been calling Devonta for about, I don't know, my entire lifetime of knowing him at this point. Sure. So I apologize. We'll get it right. It is Devonta for anyone listening, and then we'll just, it's gonna take me some time. Give me a little grace with it. We're trying.
Yeah,
though,
I literally just want a Devonta Smith rant. Like, everybody call me Devonta and call me Devonta. But, you know, whatever though. But anyways, back to these Celtics, man. Hey, it's been a long time, but they finally, like you said, they finally have some hope. And the hope starts with Dane Mayo. I mean, like, he had a really big TC. Kind of was expected. A lot of people was really high on him. Like Wick said, I would definitely give him the keys early. Tarby would probably be gone real soon. I'm pretty sure they'll have some suitors, because he did have another good TC. He went up and outside, so now he's BA scoring, which is, I mean, it's amazing for a point guard, especially for somebody with him who started at B- as a rookie, and he just couldn't figure it out for the longest, and then he eventually figured it out. They have some young pieces here, but like you said, it's still a rebuilding team. You just want to keep on adding pieces, and hopefully have another breakthrough TC with Mayo, of course, getting his handling up, and some of these other young guys, man, like Mason Buchanan and Brian Filson. Like, you got some young guys here. Well, Brian Filson, 26. But you got some young guys here, though. Right. I read it wrong. I'm sorry. That was the cut water. I thought I said 26. I meant 23. Excuse me. Read it wrong. My bad. But anyways, point still stands. Man, you got some young talents. Keep on adding on, man. Keep on adding.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, the one disappointment this CC is obviously going to be Kirk Brown. I know H Dog really liked Kirk Brown, and he had a -1 TC. He only went down one in defense, and that's all he
Yeah.
did. And so that's not great. But Jaksic traded defense and rebounding. He went up one in defense, one down one in rebounding. I think his rebounding will be fine. I'm not too worried about that. I'm more concerned about him getting his defense up. So overall, I think that's a positive training camp, unless that rebounding keeps going down. If this is a one-time thing, though, I'm not concerned about it. This year especially, I know everyone's saying, hey, make Dane Mayo starter, do Tarby at shooting guard, blah, 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 blah. Like, for me, I start Dane Mayo at shooting guard this year, see what he can do there, and just try to build Tarby's trade value at point guard. You know what I mean? Like start him a point guard, make him the number one option, see what he can do there, and then try to move him. And then, once you move him, then you put Dane back at point guard and you do everything from there. But until you can move Tarby, I wouldn't start Tarby anywhere else. I would try to build up that, because Tarby's great. I think he'll have a really good year here for the Celtics. So I'm excited to see what he does. Someone will eventually trade for him, whether it's a team that didn't expect to compete that might need a point guard upgrade, or a team that loses their point guard, due to injury. Whoever plays Dan, that will come into play. So, that would be my thought. Any thoughts on that?
That's not a bad idea. I mean, you definitely want to get both of them on the floor. I know right now it might look a little bit more like Tarby as far as the scoring, ability, playing him at shooting guard. But obviously, like you said, you want to build up the value for him. So playing him as natural position and seeing what he can be as a point guard, especially with scoring upgrade. You're gonna have suitors, like you said. Somebody will come and get them. Just be patient. You will get a haul for them. And it's, by the way, as a Tarby fan, part of the Tarby fan club, and somebody who had faith in him for so long because he been on the Nuggets forever. He was literally part of my first trade. It's really satisfying talking about Tarby after all these years, because I remember the chat talked shit about him so bad about how ass he was, and it's just like, come on, man, he's gonna get there. And now we're talking about him as a key trade piece for a point guard.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at EBL, man.
Look at it. Look at it.
Hey, shout out Tarby, man.
I think me, Devonta, Kiki, and Streeter were the only ones that ever liked Tarby until he started becoming good. But like the four of us always had that faith at least. So
CC too. I will point out.
Yes, and CC, because CC did ask me about him numerous times. Yes, you are correct. Yeah. So the five of us were the Tarby fan club, which, hey, it's a good fan club to be in right now. So shout out H-Dog. You got yourself a really good point guard prospect. You can make some moves this season. Definitely some more hope in Boston than there has been recently. And then speaking of CC, let's go ahead and just jump right into the Miami Heat. The rebuilding Miami Heat, who, we touched on, traded most of their players and, got the cap room. I know he didn't have exactly the training camp he was looking for, but there were some really big pieces that did some stuff for him. Deshane Snee looks great right off the rip. I think that was a great pick by CC overall. I think, the height, obviously, but, like we said previously, it can be done. Just because the normal rule is, doesn't mean that the Snee can't break it. So I have a lot of faith in him. And then shout out my old boy Sobi Slaw, last name I will not even try to pronounce. He had a really good +3 TC. He went up in inside, went up in handling, went up in defense. Kind of looks exactly what I want, like a small forward to start looking like. So I think that was big for him. Devonta overall with the Heat. I know you've talked to CC a little bit. How are you feeling about the Heat overall in general?
It's a good start to a long rebuild. I think he fits. I think he's in a good position. The only reason why I say that because the East is so loaded, and this is the perfect time to rebuild. So by the time that team get up and functioning and pretty much in win now mode, a lot of these East teams are going to start selling, and it's going to put him in a prime position to, I'm not going to say dominate, but to be a prime contender. We like Deshane Snee. He had a good TC. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of him to begin with, just because, by him being 6 feet and he kind of only could play one position, and the one position he could play is undersized. And I told him about that multiple times, because we talked about him quite a bit. But the TC, like I said, you can always find that one outlier that, can can change a whole opinion on someone. So hopefully he's that guy. Yeah, Sobe looks good. I'm forever going to be an Oakley Farmer guy. I hope he just turns into a dominant power forward. Hopefully that happens. I would love to see him become a scoring power forward. But also keep in note, he has the Suns pick this year, and they just traded Jake Lee's. He also has his pick this year in a loaded draft class that can be 2 top 5 picks potentially. So he knows what he has something for me. So he has definitely something for me.
I was gonna touch on the 4 firsts that he has this year. I'm not sold on any of them being playoff locks. Wizards, Heat, Suns, Nets. I mean, Heat and Suns are obvious lottos, but even the Wizards and the Nets, like, those could all be 4 lotto picks. So yeah, I'm 100%
I think it
with
will
you
be
on that
4
one.
lotto picks.
And this is a great draft to have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not a Duchesne Snee skeptic. He's about as talented as you can get for an 18-year-old shooting guard. Having A- outside, B inside, I think is a really promising offensive base, and one that I think can overcome his lack of size or lack of vertical size, because he is a bit of a fatty. He might need to hit the treadmill. But I'll stop fat shaming him for a second.
I was about to say,
And talk
Mofo's
about
going to
Oakley
warn you
Farmer.
immediately.
Oh, that's okay. Oakley Farmer looks pretty good. He went up in defense, which is promising. And yeah, this team is just really in the early days. They're going to be really horrible this year, I think, without like any sort of adequate point guard play. But I think that's all by design. And it's, as Devonta was saying, it's a great draft to be really horrible and have a high pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And, I know Oakley Farmer didn't have quite the big TC we were hoping for, but he still is a positive TC. He went up 1 in defense, so that's a good sign there. There's some good pieces. Someone will eventually trade for Preet Yogi. I really like him a lot as a shooting guard. I think he could be a good depth piece for a contending team this year. There's some good, entirely sure on. I know he went down and inside, but he kept that A rebounding. He still has that B outside. He still kind of looks like the interesting power forward type that I liked about him. So not fully out on him. But yeah, I think this draft is going to be huge for CC going forward. I think just get what you can out of your guys this year. Try to flip maybe Preet Yogi for another pick. Do what you can there, and I think he's set up the right way. So
yeah. And before we move on, can we just pour one out for Bill Anstead?
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, man, old Bill, man.
If he wasn't dead before, he's dead now.
He's fully dead.
Yeah.
And unfortunately has been dead for quite a while as a productive winning player.
Yeah. You hate to see it because, he always had that shine of an elite big, and then he just kind of lost it like really quickly,
Yeah.
Just
it was a shock fall off.
Yeah. Yeah, once the scoring went with him, it felt like everything else went. Maybe it was actually the rebounding that went first, and the rebounding contributed a lot to his scoring. But yeah, he's definitely done now. So, R.I.P. R.I.P. Bill Instead. We hardly knew you.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
All right. Let's move on to the Nets. Josh's team. So, Wick, we'll start with you. How are you feeling about the New Jersey Nets?
Pretty happy to see their TC, which wasn't all that good, to be honest. Most notably, the Irvin Reasons TC is looking a little bit like Alex Cardio Coolidge right now, ratings wise.
Oof.
He'll still be productive. I don't think it will hurt him as much as it may appear it would. Yeah, this team didn't really do much in TC. Lamar Keeling was their biggest TC, but unfortunately, he's a second round pick without birds. So even if he does, develop further, he's out of Brooklyn, or sorry, New Jersey in 2 seasons. And yeah, this team, I think, probably isn't making the playoffs this year with their bigs.
Yeah. Yeah. Devonta, do you kind of share the same sentiments?
Absolutely, because your biggest training camp came from a guy that won't be here. That sucks. Now on the bright side, I mean, I guess Bug went up in defense and inside. That's good. That's a good sign. Mm, But yeah, also Irving Reason's kind of just taking a pretty big step back. Hurts. Zarko starting to die off. I don't know. It's just this team just don't really look primed to win, to be honest, and especially in it's such a tough East. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you just have to have a pretty elite squad right now to really legit contend in the East, and this is not really one of those teams. Yeah, I do. I mean, I think a lot of people love Sam Bow, which is he's good. Kind of came out of nowhere. And Peralta is pretty good. He didn't really do nothing TC, but I mean, with the attributes he have, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's a good
the
team.
thing
It's a
with
little bit of an Asian
Peralta,
team too, huh?
the thing with Peralta is that he's never really played up to those ratings. He's had
Yeah,
those exact same ratings for a few years now, and just hasn't really been a additive player at any point in his career. Even last season, when he was playing, you know, for a pretty paltry net Heat team, he was
uh,
not that good. So that was like a bit of a weird free agency snipe to me, where I feel like there were better options out there with
yeah.
the cap space they had.
He also put stock into Jace Hart because he spent the first for him. Man, he did nothing. I
Absolutely
think
insane.
I
The
think a
crazy,
lot of us
maybe
are
one of
no.
the craziest moves.
Actually, I was
I
The
so
move to
can't.
surprised
do that,
he offered that. I was genuinely surprised.
yeah, it is a little weird to be paying a first for a young backup point guard when you already have like a young starting point guard.
Yeah,
Uh, not not good asset management at all,
I
especially when
didn't
you still have
understand it.
other holes in the roster.
I think that's advice that a lot of people need to take in the league too. If you have a young like starting level point guard, you just need to get a vet. There's so many vet point guards that's out there. You can get spend an MLE on, or you might can get
Yep.
pretty much for expiring, especially in nowadays league because it's like a surplus of point guards out there that you can get
Right.
for pretty cheap. You're not gonna spend a first on a guy on another young point guard when you have one unless you just feel like he has real star potential.
Right.
Otherwise, it kind of don't make sense.
Yeah. It's rough out there.
Yeah,
I definitely would not be doing that. Yeah. I mean, the Nets overall, Lee Dang, Zarko, they all look kind of rough right now.
yeah.
Their bigs are. I don't even know who I would start in that situation. I don't know. Do you let
Yeah,
Lamar
you just have to start
Keeling start?
one or
Like,
both of them.
yeah, I don't know what you do there.
I don't even think I
Only
would let
leader
Killing
kind of
play.
forward.
Yeah,
Just,
let Keeling play.
just
Fuck it. Why not?
build up more
He's
value.
got he's got to be better than Colin Reeder, who I've never fucking liked ever in the history of him being in this league. So
I never liked him
you
either.
know, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Judd Bug went up too. I guess that might help him a little bit.
Hmm.
But not really the position he needed help in, unfortunately. So, it's a rough team. It's a rough training camp. I'm not sure exactly where you go from here. Hopefully, Reasons doesn't die. Hopefully, he's fine. I don't know. I don't see this team as a playoff team. I know some people say, well, with Mayer and Bo and Reasons, there's no reason to think they won't be, but I think there are plenty actually. So I think the East is really good, and I think a team that's pretty good is going to miss out. And I think if the Nets continue to have like the flaws that they do, then I think it could be them. Now, I have said before to Wick, I absolutely hate the way the Nets look, which normally means when I talk about how much I hate how the Nets look, they end up getting the fourth seeds. So, we'll see.
Yeah, rinse and
Yeah,
repeat. It
yeah,
plays out like that every time we do one of these
every
season
time.
previews.
I know. So, can't wait for that.
Yes.
All
Can't wait to
right.
be eating crow on
Oh, Lord.
next year's season preview.
All right. Anyone else have anything on the Nets, or you want to move on?
No.
I think I'm all good with them.
All right. Let's move on to the New York Knicks. you know, the preseason Eastern Conference favorites, led by our own Wick over here. You know, a great team last year. They got better this offseason. Made a lot of moves, some that seemed inconsequential that I think will end up playing dividends for him. I guess I'll start with the Knicks since I'm not going to make Wick talk about his team first, but I think that trade that happened. What was that today? Yeah, so the trade that happened today, I think that was going to be a really understated trade for you. I think you got a lot of good depth there with Tilford, Gall, Puznik, and Denny. I mean, I think that's a lot of good depth that you got in one trade without really giving up, Barislav shit in the bed this training camp. Ernest Cool is Ernest Cool. Purcell Rolls is easily replaced by Puznik. Like, I don't think you gave up much at all, and I think you got a lot of good depth pieces. Obviously, your biggest trade of this offseason was Jesse Joles. It can't be stated enough how much that trade's going to help you. It's crazy to me how good this team looks right now. I don't, like, on paper, I don't see any team that even comes close to this, to me personally, at least. Devonta, do you kind of agree with me? How are you feeling about the Knicks so far?
Yeah, no, it's a dominant team. I know
Yeah.
trading Joe's there was gonna pretty much set this team off. It was a really good team already. But adding somebody like Joe's, who's a top 3 shooting guard right now in the league, to this team is just they go from elite to like just dominant.
Yeah.
And that trade, like you said, that trade they did earlier was very, very underrated because I think that might be the one that really put them over the top because now their depth look elite.
Yeah.
Mm.
Depth everywhere.
Everywhere. And even got a mixture of some young guys, some guys like some vets. Like it's just this team not even super old. I mean, outside of the older player Joe's maybe. Oh no, Tilford. Did Tilford really play much? Will he really play much?
Well,
Probably not. So essentially, your oldest important piece is Joe's at 32, which you will get 2-3 years of production of out at
yeah.
least. So I mean, this team is just built to dominate. Honestly,
Yeah. It looks like a crazy team. Wick, before we start really getting into your thoughts, what's the depth situation looking like depth chart wise? Like how are you? Who's going to be getting some minutes places? Have you posted a
So
roster yet?
I posted a roster. So actually, I'm
Okay.
playing Tilford at both backup big spots for at least the
Okay.
time being. We'll see what he has left in the tank. I think he didn't really have a bad TC. He only went down and outside.
Right.
oh
And I thought
no,
he played well last season in a starting role. Not amazingly, but as
Mhm.
a backup big, he does the two things that I want most. He rebounds and he can score inside, and that's what I'm looking for in a backup big. Easton Pierpoint has been a good backup wing for several years now with the Sixers, so he'll fit in nicely. And I play an outside offense, unlike the Sixers who are playing balanced. So I think I could
Right.
get even more out of him.
Mhm.
And then Franco had that huge EC, and might even be an upgrade over roles from a efficiency standpoint. So I'm pretty
I
excited
agree.
about. And then my third string is Tyatt and Taichi Kato, who's been my backup wing for a while. And then I've got Dirk Ree and Dillard Dene.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
That's yeah.
yeah,
Sounds crazy to me.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy about my depth that trade.
some of these guys might start in other places.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what's really insane about this team.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I mean, before the Joel's deal, I was probably going to start Pierpoint.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Which wouldn't have been a bad starter, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, you
mean,
wouldn't have had a choice. You wouldn't have had a choice after that Barislav TC. So,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
right? Yeah, right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like
So,
having guys off the bench who I feel confident starting in case of an injury, because
Mhm.
you never know, you might have an injury to a starter and round 2 of the playoffs. If
yeah,
you're gonna overcome that, you got to have good depth to
Yeah.
advance. So I think depth is very important to all new GMs. You can't just build a roster of 3 or 4 all-star caliber players. You got to have a roster full of guys who can play uh, at a moment's notice. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree
this is
with
the
that.
most talented team I've built in a while.
Yeah, so you're feeling good about it then?
I'm feeling very good. Probably won't make a trade the rest of the year.
Okay.
You have one to make. That Dropney guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he needs to
Sorry?
be in Denver. Okay,
Are you
we'll
talking
talk
about
about that
Curran?
though. No, so Colonel, I already talked to you for this year. I gotta wait till next
Oh,
offseason.
Drobny, right.
Yeah, Dropney. Yeah, he's gonna turn into the new Curlin soon. So
Oh,
All right. Definitely my preseason favorites. I'm sure we're on agreement. Anything else to add?
absolutely.
Anyone else?
What happened when you take advantage of a weak trade market? I mean, that's all I can say.
That trade that was posted today, where you got Branko and Tilford and them, that I borderline not passable to me. So good job on getting that one out. I think
you don't say that. And like Burislav was good. Like I thought Burislav was going to be like a long-term piece for me. I wasn't expecting him to die at 28. Like I would have evaluated him at a much higher price point, like as recently as last season. So, yeah, I get it. But if you told me I'd be making this deal a season ago, I'd be laughing. Like I would have said,
right.
"No, that's not fucking enough value." But
yeah, no, I understand.
Changes things.
Hey, I like when I'm eventually right about things. Sometimes it takes me a few years to call, but Barislav finally looks how I've always thought of him as. So I'm happy that
and Aaron Aref as well.
Right? Yeah, we'll get there. We'll move on. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic. Who I have all right. Without looking, the Magic haven't done anything this offseason, right? I don't think they've made a move.
No, they did make that Greg Lofty deal though at the deadline.
At the deadline, yes. No, at the deadline they did, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were a borderline. Did they make the playoffs last year?
I think they might have.
They might have. I can't remember.
Let's check the almanac.
Thanks, MSC.
Thank you, MSC. No, they just missed. They were 42 and 40, two games out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, because the Hornets and the Pacers. Yeah, so, so they were a borderline playoff team last year. I don't really think they honestly improved any going into this year. They
really just drafted Jack Connell,
right? And that was kind of.
I think we all like probably.
Yeah,
or I personally like.
I mean, he had a +3 TC. He went up in inside handling and defense. So, we'll take that all day without a doubt. I think he's a good little prospect. At Suji, their number 1 draft pick shooting guard, he also had a +3 TC when going up and handling defense and rebounding. Really looks more like a small forward now to me, so that's interesting. So I think he's really good. They have some pieces. I don't think they're quite there enough to compete, especially in how tough the East is. Tietler, you're relying on him to have another huge season like he did last year. I think that might be a little bit tough. And of course, I don't like Ubon at all. A 6'4" power forward. Just go ahead and I'm out. I'm not a size queen like Hodge maybe, but I do take it into account a little bit. Wick, how are you feeling? Kind of same thoughts?
I think I'm a little more optimistic about them than you are. Because I look at this roster and I think they've got the star level scorer in Tietler. He had an amazing season, 27 a game on incredible efficiency. They've got a center who I like, who's gone up a little bit, who I think can be a defensive anchor for them in Horde. And they've got a full season now of competent point guard play for the first time in years, it feels like. So, that combined with, maybe Ubon having a good season and one of these wings outperforming their ratings, and all of a sudden I could see this team, as the 7th or 8th seed maybe. I could see them making the playoffs because I think they do have roster-wise, structurally, they've got the bones of a team that could make it to me.
Before I move on to Devonta real quick, I'm just going to push back. The only thing Hod did this training camp was go down 1 in defense, and that's it. So,
Well,
don't love that
I
for
brought
him.
him MSC.
Are you on? No, you're still on 21-26. You got to move to 21-27 because you looked at the
I must have
standings.
been looking at the wrong thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Because you looked at the standings for 21-26 and you didn't flip the year back.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. All right, we're still kind of learning how to use. We're learning how to use the almanac a little bit. We'll get there. It's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Devonta, what's your thoughts on the Magic overall this year?
I can see them as a 7th or 8th seed. I think they will make the playoffs this year. Like you said, having a full season with Lofty would be good. I don't really see too many problems with the team outside power forward. The only thing that sucks about the power forward position is he can't really upgrade it, and the reason why because of the contract situation. He don't really have any contracts to go out and go get a guy, so he can't trade 2 firsts or a first and get somebody around the deadline to really make the playoff push. That's the thing I really hate the most about this team. Outside of that, it's a good young team with a lot of interesting pieces for sure. I'm not really a fan of 6'4" guy either. As you can see, that's why I say power forward is a need. Not a fan of him. But once again, I mean, 6'6" is kind of like the absolute limit for me. Like I know you've seen like Jake Lees and what his name is. He used to play for the Warriors. Can't think of the other 6'6" guy. Ellenwood.
Jimmy
Yeah, like
Ellenwood.
Jimmy Ellenwood. Like I know you've seen a couple of guys, but 6'4" is that's absurd. I'm not gonna lie. Not it.
Yeah.
But it's a good team. I can definitely see this team. See his team fighting for a 7th or 8th seed for sure. And the only reason why because it's the East so tough. That's it.
In Ubon's defense, he actually put together a really solid campaign, like better than I thought he did. Like 17 points a game, just under 10 rebounds, but in only 30 minutes a game, 48% from the field. I totally agree with you on your skepticism of short power forwards, because to me, their use becomes, or they usually decline a lot in the playoffs when the defenses get better. But I think as a regular season power forward, Ubon probably will be okay.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you just said there is something I want to touch on, which is he did it in only this amount of minutes per game, but he was always a starter. So I really think his fouls are going to be the downfall of him. I think his size is going to limit him and cause him to foul and get in way more foul trouble than a normal power forward would. So I do think that's something to watch going forward.
Absolutely.
I could be proven wrong, but
the minutes per game is one of his weaknesses, not being able to stay on the floor.
Can't stay on the court.
He was productive in those minutes, so we'll give him credit there.
Right.
Also, how confident are y'all in the Magic shooting guards in general?
I like the number 1 overall. I like the Japanese dude whose name I will not even try to pronounce on this podcast, but I think he had a good TC. I think he played decent last year. I'm excited to see if he can kind of improve a little bit upon this year and just kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're playing Lofty at point guard, I'd want to play an outside offense. I don't know what his fit is like in an outside offense because he does have that B+ outside, and we didn't see him shoot a whole lot last year. So I don't know if the 45% on only 83 attempts is really an accurate representation of his outside shooting.
Yeah.
But, we just got to wait and see. He's a skilled player. He can handle, he can rebound. He's huge for a shooting guard. So those things might be able to overcome the shot if it doesn't really materialize for him this year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the contract situation, I'm glad Devonta brought that up because the contract situation's crazy. This is something I've said on a podcast before, but now that we have some different new GMs that may be listening for the first time, gotta have some tradable contracts on your team. I mean, there's no reason to have nothing but, unless you do like the moron CC thing, which you can't really do anymore, where you draft an entire team one off season. There's no reason why you can't have a few guys on like a max expiring deal, and because you're setting yourself up to where you can't trade at all. And I think that's going to hurt the Magic this year. So a good lesson moving forward is, make sure that when you're setting your team up, yeah, it's okay to have a bunch of young guys. Yeah, it's okay to have this, but, make sure you have some big contracts in there somewhere. They don't have to be long contracts. Obviously, they'd be better if they're 1 year expirings, but just even like a 10 mil, a 12 mil, maybe a 13.5 mil here and there. Like, set yourself up. Do yourself a favor. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting bored all year because you can't do shit. So,
Absolutely.
let's move on to the 76ers. Brand new GM, brand new outlook. We got water goated taking over the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they had a decent TC overall. Devonta, we'll start with you. How are you kind of feeling about the 76ers so far?
I'm feeling the same way I've always been feeling since he joined. I gave him the advice. I think he should have just blew up the team to begin with.
Yeah.
Once again, it's kind of like that timeline thing I was talking about with the Heat. Do you feel like your team is truly good enough to compete with the big dogs in the East? Understand you have the front court for sure. We understand that. But as far as everyone else, and you have Holloman, of course, but as far as the wing play, is the wing play strong enough to compete with the East? I don't think so. I think this is going to be a learning curve this year. I think he will understand that he probably going to have to blow it up. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens close to the trade deadline, because I feel like the ceiling for the Sixers is about a 7 seed. That's the ceiling, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way on that one.
Yeah, that's really all I have to say. Really, I mean, Swain, he might be cool, but I know he had a problem with just defensive problems, and I don't know if that would help. Maybe it wouldn't be as bad because you have Fools as your anchor, so
Yeah.
might not be as bad. I just like shooting guard gonna really kill him. What do you do? Nardino is the shooting guard, I'm assuming?
Nardino.
No,
It's
no,
gotta
no,
be
no.
Nardino.
Don't do Nardino.
It
Water
is
goat.
like
Don't
it's
do
no,
Nardino.
yeah. What you said?
Don't do it. It's
has
not
to
going
be.
to end well.
What other choice does he have though? Honestly,
Right. Where's the other
I'd rather
option?
get someone off the
Don't say
street from
Dylan
FA
Stables.
than start Nardino.
And it's crazy though, because I mean, even last year when he played in the 19 game, I know it's a small sample size, but in 30 minutes he only scored 13 points a game.
Yeah.
Not exactly on 42%. Not exactly sniper numbers. So I just don't know what he's thinking here. Hopefully he takes my advice at some point and still blow up, because it's never too late. And just start this rebuild early, man.
Maybe Stiers. I know he goes down defensively as shooting guard, and then that creates a big.
Nancy
Then you have
Stiers,
Holloman. Then you have Holloman, Stiers, and Swain. I mean, that's a lot to overcome defensively if that's your starting.
Absolutely.
So,
He was possibly putting Swain at shooting guard. I don't know. I was hearing that, but I don't.
Maybe. Oh, what were we saying?
what
his
did he do
defense is there.
defensively there, though?
No clue. I never even asked. And I had him.
I'm talking to two recent owners of Kirk Swain.
Yeah, that's why I like I never asked.
I'm pretty sure when I had him, he went down to B- at shooting guard.
No, I'm just looking at this team's cap sheet. They very well might have like 3 of the top 7 worst contracts in EBL this year.
Jesus.
Between Stiers, Clark Nardino, and Dylan Stables.
Yeah.
That's not a whole lot of value. And those guys are on 3 or 4 year contracts.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough to move them. I actually liked the Holloman deal that Watergoat had made in the offseason. I don't know if I mentioned that in our previous podcast, but I'm not a Blaze Trees guy. He's pretty mid. Holloman is a championship level point guard. We've seen him do it before.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a better spot in Philadelphia to hide his defensive limitations with playing with a big like Ross Foose and Daryl Cook, who's a sneaky good defender.
Yeah.
But yeah, shooting guard is just a real problem on this team. And it's going to be really tough to win in the East this year if you've got even a single hole in your starting five.
Yeah, I agree.
I see them as a playoff team. I don't see them as a playoff lock, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if they missed it. And as you guys were saying, their ceiling is probably the 6 or 7 seed.
Yeah. I put them in that same kind of category as the Magic and the Nets, where it's like, yeah, they have some good players, and yeah, they might sneak in, but like, at least one or two of those teams are going to miss out. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a matter of who gets hot at the right time, what the schedules look like, who has some injuries. It's all going to be interesting there.
And in the East, they could win 45 and still miss it.
Well, right, yeah. So that's what's real tough about it.
So, Wick, let me ask you this. Do you still like the Holloman trade, despite him also trading his first, knowing that he could possibly be poised to blow it up? Things don't go as planned?
I think if he wasn't going to trade Foose, which he was pretty adamant about not wanting to, I don't, you're not going to lose enough. Your defense is pretty much guaranteed to be good with Foose.
Right.
You still got Cork. I mean, it's not the direction I would have chose, but just for a pure value standpoint, I didn't hate the Holloman deal.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I'd agree with that.
Okay, I live with that. I think my opinion on it was I'm not the biggest Blaze Trees fan by any means.
I don't think any of us
I just felt like making like the ultimate win now move and trading for Holloman and not really being a win now team, not having like a real win now roster was kind of questionable for me, especially getting you're also getting older by 5 years too, because Trees is 25, right? And Holloman is 30. Once again, not a Trees guy, but it just that's and you also gave up a first. So if you did kind of bail on the situation, you don't even have your own first for the next 2 years. Oh,
yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm looking at the long-term situation because I would trade for Holloman on this team if I looked at this can be a possible top 4 seed in the East. You made this trade hoping you just make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of say I was a lateral move. I've been saying that a couple of times. That was just a lateral move, not because of the talent-wise, but because, you just hopeful that you make the playoffs because you have a slightly better not slightly better, but better point guard. Still have other glaring holes, so we live and we learn.
No.
Hopefully overachieve.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think they'll be bottom of the East, playoff wise, or top of the East lotto wise. One of the two. They're not going to be the worst team in the East, but they're not going to be a top 5 seed either. So, we'll just kind of see. It's all going to depend on what they figure out with their wings and how it goes from there. It's going to be a real wait and see type thing. So,
absolutely.
Speaking of a team that is kind of a same boat, I kind of feel the same way about this team too. We got the Washington Wizards.
I'm much lower on this team. I will just say that.
I guess the team makeup doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't understand where Meigs and Winfrey are all playing. I guess you're running Kurzweil back at center. I don't love that. They have 3 small forwards on this team. Well, I guess Winfrey's definitely a power forward now, but you got Hucker and Garrido. Neither of them can really play shooting guard that well. Maybe Hucker could. I'm not sure if we've seen it. I guess he probably could.
Defensively, he can.
Yeah. Wrigley went up and outside this training camp, but I still don't like him at all. Edmundson went down in handling. He didn't do anything else. I don't really know the direction of this team. I think they'll still be good enough to get, I don't know. I think they'll be a little better than they were last year. I don't really see them making a playoff push. I don't see them also being just a 30-win team either, though. So I think I'm somewhere in between on them. I think they'll be closer to a 9-10 seed than they would a 6 or 7 seed, though. I definitely don't see them as I definitely like a few other bubble East teams more than the Wizards. Wick, I know you got some strong thoughts. What do you feel about the Wizards overall?
Just one thing I noticed, just looking at their roster, they have 9 players with A- or and above rebounding, which is really interesting. Just going to check their rebounding from last year because I believe it was a weakness of theirs. Yeah, they're only at 54.6 a game. So I would imagine that's in the bottom half of the league, rebounding wise. So, if the move is to put Hucker at shooting guard, they've got Garrido, who's a good rebounder for small forward, and they're going to have a full season of Kurzweil. Rebounding is going to be better for them, and I know Haj really values rebounding. So last season was a bit of a blip for him in that regard. But yeah, outside of that, I don't see a whole lot of positives with this roster. I just don't believe in top-end talent at this point. They've been running this team with Amundsen, Hucker, Wrigley as their shooting guard for a few years now. They've brought in some pieces that kind of, to me, are more like fourth or fifth guys on a good team. But they've needed like top tier guys, and they've just been supplementing their roster with role players. So I think they're probably going to miss. I don't really see this team making the playoffs. And I just don't like their long-term outlook either.
Yeah, it's interesting. Before I move on to Devonta, they were 24th in rebounding last year. So, yes, to your point, very close to the bottom on that one. Devonta, Wizard thought, how do you feel?
As a Hodge hater, of course. No, I'm just playing. But pretty much what Wick said. I kind of was thinking the same thing. This is kind of like the same core of guys that haven't really been achieving together the entire time, and I feel like this team has been staying the same, and the rest of the East has been getting better. So I'm gonna kind of say the same thing. Like I was saying with the Sixers, I think it's just time just to start getting the max value you can get. Hooker is 30. Nicole is 30. Like, start getting some of these guys out of here and start the rebuild. I know Hodge not the biggest rebuild guy. He's like making the weird, unique rosters and stuff. Because this is another one of those classic Hodge rosters. But I think it's time. I think the ceiling for this team would probably be about an 8 seed. That's the ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm thinking realistically, it's going to be that 9-10 range.
Yes.
I agree with that. And to your point, I mean, Hucker went back up and inside this TC, so I think he'll have a better year. And I would agree. I would agree that while because he's been so up and down training camp wise, while he's up, it does seem like it would be a good year to move him. You know what I mean? Like try to get some value, try to do what you can, because you never know if he drops back down to B- inside next year and does whatever. Like his value is going to hurt a little bit. So you could definitely still get a pretty decent haul for Hucker. You could still get something for Amundsen. Mason Winfrey probably still has at least a first of value. You could probably trade Garrett over first. There's a few guys on this team that you could probably move for some assets and start a rebuild. I agree. I do think it's time for the Wizards. They got close a few years when, Hucker and Amundsen were at their prime, and, Predrag had that really good year or two there. Like they had their window there, and ever since then it just seems like that window's pretty closed now at this point. So it does seem like it'd be a good time to move on. I do agree with that 100%. Any other thoughts on the Wizards before we move on to the Central?
Haj, if you're listening,
he's not.
Maybe be open to rebuilding for the first time in 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I assume he doesn't listen. He won't join us anymore, so I doubt he listens either. Rude, but
very.
Let's move on to the Central. Atlantic's done, and we're an hour in. So at this pace, I think we're gonna get done in about 4 hours. So let's move on. Let's move on to the Atlanta Hawks. Another team that is probably around the Wizards range if I had to put him somewhere. I kind of feel they have a few good pieces there. Brian Plum looks playable for the first time in his EBL career. I'm excited to see how he does with A- inside, like legitimately excited for that. So, they traded for Bruno Folds. They have Ryan Jeffrey coming back off after a hot start. Stu McCarthy's there. I do definitely hate Sid Childress. I am off the Sid Childress bandwagon that I think I might have been on his rookie year. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Devonta, how are you feeling about the Hawks? Wait, what do you got with them?
Oh man, the big step back was Russ Corns, man. Not having that the TC I thought he would have. I can't tell everybody to rebuild, so so we just gonna keep moving. Shout out Brian Plum, of course, because that's another guy that me and you share. Of course,
Right.
part of
That's our boy. That's our boy.
Yeah. We love Brian Plum around here. I just don't like the point guard play here.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think two of the most important positions in EBL, in my opinion, is your point guard and your center, because I feel like your center controls so much, especially defensively. Like I feel like you can have 3 bad defenders on the floor. If you have an anchor, it almost damn it doesn't matter. That's just how I feel.
I'm in complete agreement with what you just said there, Devonta. Those are easily the two most important positions to me in EBL.
Yeah.
And I feel like personally that's his 2 weaknesses. That's not a good sign when you're trying to get a team, when you're trying to build a competitive team at that in the toughest conference.
Right.
I will say I want to see Corns play first before I jump to any conclusions. The Hawks were 6th in opponent field goal percentage last year, which to me suggests that Corns is a pretty good defender. Borderline defensive anchor center. So, going down in defense is tough, but we know defense is a rating that's an aggregate of a whole bunch of different individual ratings. So, hell, a little drop in strength could have been the result of a full letter grade decline. But yeah, as you were saying, Devonta, point guard is a huge issue for this team. And I think what's even more frustrating for B Money and the Hawks is that they don't really have any assets to address that issue.
No first.
Yep. I think for me, the rest of the team is so good defensively. Like, it might have been Corns, or it might have been I know they didn't have Plum last year, but if you got to look at their like Plum is a good defender, Folds is a good defender. I would assume Childress is a good defender, based off their play last year and the fact that that they weren't a bad defensive team and he started all year. Ryan Jeffrey seems like he's a good defender. But I think between Stu and Jeffrey, and obviously Folds will be around an 18 to 20 point per game player as well. They have some good pieces. I'm not sure about the whole of it all. So, but I think they're young enough to where they can ride it out for a little bit. Their oldest player that matters is 27, because we're not counting Sankovic or Kelvin Simpson or Tony Klim. So, their oldest player that matters is 27. I think they have some room to grow. Stu is only 24 still, even though it feels like he's like 30. So, I think they have some time to figure it out. I definitely wouldn't push for them to go into a rebuild. I think they're still in the rebuilding type mode. They just moved their first to try to get a little more competitive. I think you can ride this team out for another year, another 2, until you get some more assets, and then you can kind of figure it out from there. So that's kind of what I feel. You guys in agreement?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they don't really have any other choice.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, unless you start selling pieces off, I just don't think they should do that. So, speaking of selling pieces off, let's move on to the New Orleans Hornets.
Vladimir Sankovic too. We're playing his 20th season.
Oh yeah, shout out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough. Before we fully move on, Kiki actually mentioned in voice chat the other day when he was talking shit about other people's teams, even though he really shouldn't be.
But that's all he does. That's fine.
Yeah. The Hawks do currently roster Kelvin Simpson, Tony Clem, Sankovic,
and Byron Blade.
So that's basically 5 wasted roster spots.
Yeah, they're literally just they have novelty roster spots, which is fun and it seems hilarious, but also At some point, we got to cut ties because they're not going to compete.
No.
Agreed? Like, I mean, you can't have 4 of your players being unplayable.
Yeah, that's one of the rare points that Kiki made that I actually agreed with.
A broken clock's right twice a day or whatever that fucking old people saying is. Let's all right, let's move on to the New Orleans Hornets. I do agree, Wick, though. Yeah, you got to do something about that. All right, let's move on to the Hornets. I don't have too much to talk about with the Hornets here, to be honest with you. Hornets are in full rebuild mode. They had Tyjon Lumby, which they got in the trades for he was in the Blaze Trees trade, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to not like that deal now. The more I look at it, but what's done is done. So Tyjon Lumby, I think, is a good prospect. I think that's a nice little win for Streeter there. Bill Fly had a positive TC. Hani Elzara, their rookie, had a +2. He went up and outside, and rebounding, so it was really just a +1. But I mean, still, that's good progress. It's the Sherrod Upaliker, what a bad TC that one was. That's a fucking.
It was real rough. No,
that's a real fucking rough TC. Yeah, good luck on that one. Yeah, he's probably cut soon if I had to guess. Not a lot to be excited about on this team as it stands right now, other than Lumby and Elzara. You can definitely be excited about those pieces, but they have a lot of picks in this draft, including they got the Jazz first, they have their own first, they have the Hawks first, and they have the Sixers first. That's another 4 potential lotto picks there. So I think that's big for them. That's all I really have to say about the Hornets. Any overall thoughts?
No. Before we move on, do we think this is the worst roster in EBL right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm leaning towards yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they have no center. Their power forwards is suspect at best. They have no small forward. They have no shooting guard. Hani Elzar is not going to do anything out the gate as a rookie. He still needs another TC. And then you're either riding Will Plant, who I don't think is that good, or the corpse of Loki Butterman. So, yeah, I think Devonta, how do you feel about this roster? Are you kind of in agreement, or?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe the Lakers, but now I'm really looking at this team. I don't know. It might be the Hornets actually.
If they're not worse, they're bottom 3, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Will Plant doesn't have any birds, so
no.
I mean, I know obviously he knows that. I mean, it's funny though because he's still trying to sell them and say, hey, well, technically, 8.6 million. That's still technically birds.
Yeah. No,
really, but I get it.
For a team that's got someone named Raven and someone named Fly, no, he has no birds. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah. Yeah, but like you said, he have a lot of great draft picks. He have a lot of great draft picks in this upcoming draft, so that's great to see. Because it's a loaded class. It's gonna be him and CC the entire time, just building a nice little young core.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with the picks, but that's kind of all I got for the Hornets.
Yeah.
You got nothing else, Devonta? You good? All right, let's move on to the Chicago Bulls and their brand new GM, Karachi, taking over what has been a very inactive team throughout history. They look roughly the same as they've ever looked, so I don't have too much to talk about with the Bulls. Devonta, we'll start with you this time. How are you feeling about the Bulls? And what do you think the direction? Yeah.
See, I'm gonna tell you one thing and one thing only. I know you're not watching this. Somebody might tell you about it. Maybe some people might encourage you. I don't know. People might get encouragement. I'm inboxing you. Please put Leno Pat on the block. Please, Pape. His name Pape. Yeah. Please get him out of there. It's time. Just rebuild in Chicago. I know you just got there. You probably just filling the team out vibe. Probably one way similar to. No, get him out of there. Doesn't make any sense. You have your own draft pick. You have an extra pick with the Raptors first this year. Let's get some more picks because, I mean, a lot of people are going to want him. It's not too many guys like him in the league. If I'm not mistaken, he's probably the best center in the league, if I'm not mistaken. If not
He's
three.
up there.
He's there somewhere. I don't know. Everybody
Yeah.
opinions are different. He's there though. He's
like
top three.
5. He's for sure top 5 at the very minimum.
He's top 5 without a doubt. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, he's still a top 5. So
get him out of there. You might can squeeze the first out of Corkery, and anybody else you could possibly sell them off to rebuild. Honestly, is otherwise you're just kind of just wasting the only chip you have and pay. Really, all I have to say. Rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. I've got nothing to add to that, and I completely agree that they need a rebuild.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. I don't have anything else to add to that either. You can move Corkery for something at least. Well, I don't know. He's 32, maybe not, but you can at least. He might be able to move him. I don't know. But you can definitely move Leno Pape. You could probably definitely get something for Les LeBont, who had a good year last year. You know, at the very least, you have that. Like, you already have all of your firsts from the future. You have the Raptors first extra this year. I agree with Devonta. Just build it up. Get some more firsts, get some more picks, see what you can do because this team's not competing. And it's only getting older, and it's only going to be harder to move guys. God forbid, like Paper, someone has like a terrible TC next year, then it's like, fuck, miss the window. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to wait.
Also, for any guys that's out there that's listening right now that need of a center upgrade, might be best to just hit him up. See, he's not one to just post trade blocks or actively shop a guy. Got some of us do. Just hit him up. He's gonna respond. Hit him up.
Karachi does post trade blocks. But they're the worst trade blocks posted in EBL, hands down.
You talking about to the Blazer days? Yes. Yeah.
He posted one for the Bulls actually. Recently.
I haven't seen it.
And it was just like the old days.
Must have been before Mofo big blocks. I would love to see that. But yeah.
Before we move on. Yeah. Yeah, get in his inbox. Because Karachi's not going to reach out, but he'll always respond. He's good at responding. He's a good GM at responding for sure.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who I think for all intents and purposes, we can say they had a disappointing season last season, right? I mean, that definitely not where Shane thought they would be, not where Shane wanted. I think they had a decent offseason. They picked up a few pieces. Ian Pizer got better, which is fucking bullshit. If I'm sorry for my French on that one. Like, I don't even know how that's possible, but fine, whatever. Michael Green went up one in defense. He got some prospects. Dan Caldiero actually looks decent for a prospect, which I think is interesting. Eric Goffin, the faith that he had in him paid off. I definitely like what he did this offseason. I'm not sure if any of it helped him win right now this season, but I like what he's done with the pieces he's found, and he could always try to ship Caldero off and Goffin off and try to get a bigger win now piece. I think that'll be really interesting to see. Devonta, I started with you last time, so Wick, how are you feeling about the Cavs?
Just a note, overall. I think Caldero is on an LLE.
Yeah,
so he won't be able to be traded.
Thank you. I didn't bother to look at that.
Which means he has no birds to any teams that don't have cap or who do have cap space this offseason.
Right.
I think that's a sneaky target. Sorry, Shane.
There.
But
that's our job.
No,
it's our job. It's our job to point these things out.
Exactly. But yeah, no, this team I thought had a pretty good TC. Ian Pizer went up. Did Thrasher go up? Sorry, I'm looking at their old TC. Fucking MSC.
Thrasher went up because Thrasher went up.
Right, yeah. So Thrasher went up. Green went up. Pizer went up.
Yeah.
And of course, Eric Goffin had that huge +3 TC.
Yeah.
And now looks like potentially they're shooting out in the future. I will say, even with Goff and big TC, my concerns from our pre-TC podcast remain with the wing situation here. I don't know if Goffin will be ready just yet to be a good starter for a winning team. But he at least, I think, could be a decent starter. I think that like his best case might be 18 or 19 a game on good efficiency, surrounded by all these stars. Small forward, Kyle Strike went back up and outside, but went down and inside. So I don't really know if that's a really a beneficial TC for him. And of course, they still have Jason Carter in town, but he's 35 and he did go down and inside. So he might be a bit diminished. So yeah, really, the wing situation is still one to watch here, but for the future, it does look brighter.
Yeah. Devonta, thoughts?
I mean, the team, first of all, the young talent on this team is insane. You think about Thrasher, Michael Green, and now Eric Goffin, who he just blew up. I think this team will be as good as Goffin at shooting guard this year. I agree with Wick. He's not going to be ready, but this team right here is going to be is one of those teams I'm talking about as far as falling in that timeline. This team will be dominating the East about 4 or 5 years for sure. Maybe a little bit sooner, depending on how people start to retool and rebuild. They have top 10 guys, important positions, or potential top 10 guys at important. Is what he might be. What the best power, not top 3. He's up there.
I think he's the best.
We know what Pizer is. We don't even have to talk about him. He's in a whole different league.
Right.
Kyle Strike going up and upside so much. I know you kind of traded off, but I mean, Kyle Strike is still he's still good. He's still starter level.
Yeah.
No, at one point, some people was questioning that before TC. It was like, Kyle Strike even a starter at this rate? I'm like, I don't know. Overall, the team looks great. The team will obviously be a playoff team. I mean, you have no choice when you have Pizer as a point guard.
Yeah.
Now it's based off how far can it go. And that's determined on the shoulders of Eric Goffin.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at a point where I don't know, maybe I start Goffin as shooting guard and then
What?
I don't know. I think Strike might be a good like off the bench kind of guy because I think he would be better at like a backup shooting guard, like a backup, like a 6-man type role than Carter would. I think Carter is just a straight small forward. So, you know,
I agree with that.
Yeah, they have 3 like Michael Green, Josh Thrasher, and Ian Pizer are like solidified. That's locked. They're good. They are elite. Like those are three probably top 3 guys at the positions. Like Michael Green, if he's not there, he's close. So
he's close.
You know, obviously Pizer is on number 1 or number 2. Thrasher's number 1 or number 2. Michael Green's got to be top 5 at this point. So, you know, those are 3 really important things that they have figured out, and they're all young and they haven't figured out for a while. So I think that's going to be big. I agree with you guys. You know, whether or not they win this year, I think is irrelevant because their future is so bright that that it almost doesn't even matter. So I'm excited to see what they do this year, but I'm more excited to see how they look in 2 or 3 seasons, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. Hands down, probably the best young core in the league. It's crazy
absolutely.
how young their best players still are. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw Pizer and Thrasher only 24.
Right. Yeah,
I thought
Michael
I had
Green's
to
22.
clear my cache and refresh. Look on the updated side.
Blame MSC again. Fuck.
Yeah, what year I'm in?
MSC. God damn it, man.
Yeah, this Cavs team, this is the best. This is probably the best situation to be in EBL. Sure.
Yeah. Oh,
because you have those important positions cleared.
Yeah.
Point guard, center cleared. Now power forward, I mean, it doesn't hurt when you have possibly the best power forward.
and Thrasher is the reason their defense is where it is elite. Like he is the actual anchor on that team. It isn't Michael Green. Thrasher was good next to Brady Dempster as well before he really took that step forward defensively. This team is going to be top 10 defensively if they're rostering Josh Thrasher. You could put Lee Dang next to Josh Thrasher. I think they would have a top 10 defense.
All right. Well,
I think he's that good.
Now we're talking crazy. Okay.
I don't know about that one.
I might be exaggerating, but
okay.
I'm very high on him.
Yeah. Shout out Shane. You've done a good job so far. I know last season wasn't what you wanted, but hey, next few seasons will be. So
future is very bright.
To see that. Speaking of MSC, we'll move on to the Detroit Pistons. Your reigning and defending EBL champion, Detroit Pistons. Obviously not the TC that you probably wanted. Alonzo Amball went down one and outside. Some of their bigger pieces. Arana Ref. All my years of saying he's eventually gonna fall off are starting to pay off. Hey, I called it. I might have been like 5 years too early, but I fucking called it. So, but he might balance, and he'll still be fine. Let's not get crazy. Arana Ref will still be fine. The obvious big TC from them is Buck Ann coming out of nowhere, looking like he could be a future star point guard somehow.
+6.
Yeah, he had a +6 TC. A +6 TC for Buck Ann, which is wild. It went up 2 in outside, 1 in handling, 2 in defense, and 1 in rebounding. Just all the way around. Absolutely insane TC. So I'm really excited to see how he looks in a few years. Wick, obviously I know you have some thoughts on the Pistons. How do you feel about this team going into the year?
I know. I think I could easily see a world where this team repeats, even with the Amboir TC, even with the Ref TC. They've just got a really solidly built core that with pieces that just make sense together, that really complement each other well. You've got your defensive anchor in Lonzo, assuming that Amboir still starts. He's one of the better offensive point guards in EBL, and MSC just showed us you can win a title with him as your point guard despite his defensive limitations. And of course that, their wing duo with like Braden and Glenn Fell is probably the best shooting wing duo in EBL right now. Like Braden had a 50-40-90 year last year. Damn near 50-50-90 year actually. And yeah, they're still really young across the board. Like Moore's 23, Braden's 24, Amboir is only 22, so there's still time to bounce back after the last couple TCs. You've got Buck Ann now, who might end up surpassing Amboir in the point guard rotation, or he might be a really valuable trade piece to get a replacement for a Ref. I think this team's in a really good spot, despite maybe a disappointing TC, as you were saying before, Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a disappointing TC, but they're definitely not down in that by any means. Devonta, how you feeling about the Pistons?
Yeah, pretty much feeling the same way. This team, that TC does nothing to me. A Ref, he's going to be okay. He's going to still be productive this year. If anything, it was a win because you just gained an elite trade piece in Buck Ann. Nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a regular prospect to just very elite. And kind of like what you was talking about with the defensive limitations of Alonzo, that's once again having a bad defender at point guard. Does it really matter when you have somebody like Lonzo Moore? I'm saying I feel like, and this is one of those situations because this is a team that just won a championship with C+ defender at point guard. We thought this would never be a thing because you remember Shannon Scott Jr. and guys like that was just notoriously bad defenders, but they was offensive-minded point guards. By 1-1 because you had an anchor at center. As long as you have an anchor, you're fine. That's how I feel. This is a great team. I mean, obviously the championship one, they'll be fine. I'm assuming at some point they will try to look into replacements because it's powerful because we know Brandon Ruff, his days are numbered. You know that.
I'll add to your point right here. I think they already have their replacement power forward on their roster because Oliver Bice went up to A rebounding this offseason, and if he gets moved to power forward, he has A defense at power forward. So I think you might already have your replacement on the roster.
What the actual fuck? I did not notice him.
Yeah, Oliver Bice has A defense at power forward. If you move him to power forward, he has A defense and A rebounding. So, just throwing that out there as well. That's another thought for y'all to chew on.
You know what, MSC? You want us to roast shit? We can't. Like, look at the shit that you're doing. What you want us to say?
He even has 2 tradable picks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you want us to say? Like, you got it. You fucking got it. Like, fuck.
You're like, you're the man. Like, Jesus, I want to be you, honestly.
Do we start Oliver Bice at power forward and run a ref as like a super six? You know what I mean? Like what? Like there's so many options. I love it.
I don't know his defense at other spots.
Not great. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm about to say I know you would know. Because I unfortunately I haven't had him.
Yeah, I just want to glaze let it ride this year. Like a Krispy Kreme donut for the next fucking 30 minutes. This roster I really like. I thought he was this roster was underrated before they won the title. And now with the Almanac, I feel like this is the year of MSC.
So let me ask you this: with the point guard situation, what you do there?
I mean, you start Amble until until the wheels fall off. Yeah,
I'm referring to do you consider trading Buchan and trying to get an elite piece like
after Amble CC this year? No.
Do you just
I hold on to Buchan, especially after Amble went down one. It's just because you don't know what he's going to look like. You definitely hold on to Buchan for right now.
Unless it's sort of like a really elite pace.
Yeah.
Because he has super high upside. I would lean towards holding on to him.
I would hold on to him unless it's a trade you can't turn down. All right. Enough glazing the Pistons. Love you, MSC.
Shit.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
We'll move on to one half of the best brother pair in EBL, the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, wow. Wow. How many titles does that brother pair have? Tyler, how many titles do you have?
We don't measure love by titles in this.
Let's make
chat.
this the dick measuring contest.
Okay.
Let's whip it out.
All right. Someone invite K-Town on the podcast.
oh my god.
All right. Anyway, Indiana Pacers. Obviously they just made a huge trade for Jake Lease, changed the entire trajectory of this team. They did exactly what we said we needed them to do on the podcast. Shout out us. We can take the bow on that one.
Yes.
So now they have a full team. They have Jake Lease. Devonta, how you feel about the Pacers? What are your thoughts overall?
First of all, I'm happy that they followed the advice of going to get Jake Lease. I mean, now the team looks really complete. And I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to play. I really have a ceiling for this team at the moment. I know they will be a playoff team. I just don't know where they fall as far as seeding. Because this can be a team that can easily overachieve, be much better than everybody think, like the surprise team this year. Or it can just be like, it's just an ant team. Because the jury's still out for me with Jake Lease, because Jake Lease haven't really been on any teams.
Yeah,
he made teams just kind of just like, I don't know if he's the reason or it's just bad situations, but even though those Orlando days, none of those teams was really like elite. It was a full team.
Those teams were running Pavlenko. Yeah, those teams were running Pavlenko as a point guard. We can't judge it at least on that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of situational. So it's great. This might be the best situation he's been. Well, yeah, because even the Suns team when he was there, Moran was there, it just fell apart. And I'm not saying he's the reason, but it's just like coincidence. Jake Lease is at this team, and it just fucking shit now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really interesting to see what that narrative keep up with the Pacers. Hopefully not, because I'm actually a Jake Lease guy. So I guess we'll see. That'll be real interesting to see. That's why it's hard for me to pinpoint where to put this team as far as seeding.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Devonta, would you say the team's a playoff lock, though?
Absolutely. That's a playoff lock. It's definitely a playoff lock.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, you go.
No, you go. Fuck you. You go.
Yeah, I don't think there was a better fit out there for Jake Lease than Indiana, playing alongside Jose Jimenez, who, as a defensive anchor type of big, say what you want about him offensively, I think he's a good defender. I really do. Because this Indiana team, year in and year out, with Jimenez at center, has been a good defense. So getting a scoring big next to him, I think, is huge. You're hopefully going to have a full season of Gokan. You've still got Zach Merlin, who just went up in TC in the prime of his career.
Yep.
There isn't really a hole in this roster, and they have surprisingly good depth. So yeah, while it is hard to pinpoint where they will fall on the standings, I think this is an easy playoff lock.
Yeah. Obviously I am a known Jose Jimenez hater, and that's fine. That's a me thing, you know. Everyone knows I have my own weird little things, so you know, it is what it is on that one. But I still think even if you count him as a weakness, or even if you don't believe in him, like kind of like I don't think he's a weakness, but I just don't believe in him. This team is talented enough to where they're definitely a playoff lock, even in the East. I mean, Gokan has shown that he'll be an elite point guard. You know, he kind of took a small step back last year, but he was also hurt for a lot of it, so I don't really pay too much attention to that. I think he'll be fine this year. Zach Merlin, after his huge TC, Resin, it maybe not be the best defensively, but he can score like nobody's business. So I think he's an important piece to have. And then adding Jake Lease, it's basically the same, running back the same team that made the playoffs last year, but adding Jake Lease. And I just don't see how they're not a playoff. They're definitely a playoff lock. So, you know, I agree. I can see them being anywhere from like a 3 seed to a 7 seed. Like, I just don't know exactly where they fall. But I definitely do agree that they are probably a playoff lock, barring injury or anything crazy. They do seem to have most everything figured out.
Yeah. Good work, Ted. Thank you for
great
listening
work,
to
Ted.
us. And we're going to take credit if the Lease deal works out well for you.
Oh, I'm already taking credit. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Hold on. Let's do our victory lap if it works out. And if not, we had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, none of those.
I'm
that guy.
I'm doing a victory lap regardless. I need more cardio in my life, so you know what I mean. Like we're running, baby.
You mean you need cardio Coolidge?
Cardio Coolidge. Speaking of, there's no good segue. Let's move on to the Bucks.
Speaking of me, are the Raptors next? No, the Bucks. Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Speaking of mid,
I was about to say, no matter how you finish that statement, you would be you'd be okay, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I think mid is more fitting for the Bucks than the Raptors.
Oh yeah, especially with Jack Mid on the team. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like that's 100%. Wick, how you feel about your buddy, your best friend, your lover Kiki? How are we feeling about his training camp or in
you
his
mean my
team? Your husband, sorry.
As he described to his girlfriend,
right?
When she saw a message on his phone of me saying "Hey, babe" to him.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that now.
Yeah, this is the best the Bucks have looked probably, you know, in the entire time Kiki's been their GM. They've got Doug fucking Dacey for a full season.
Yeah.
They got a nice supporting cast. That Scholes TC was really big for them. We'll see how their defense holds up. That's my one question with them. If Scholes will be good enough defensively, even after his big TC. They were 25th in opponent field goal percentage last year. So they've got quite a mountain to climb in that regard. Yeah, but this team should make the playoffs. I consider them a playoff lock simply because they have Doug Dacey and quite a lot of good complementary pieces around him.
Devonta, how you feeling? Same?
Yeah, it's a good team. Making the big move of trading for Eli Steves.
Oh, yes,
great.
of course.
Yeah. Now you have a beautiful, beautiful back. Want to see what type of he take this year. So want to see what type of step take because obviously all eyes is on shows. If shows plays to the ratings right now, is despite being only 19, it's going to be a great team. It's going to be a great team for a while. We know the team regardless is going to be great because of Daisy and Steve's, but we just trying to see if Show's going to hold him back because he's just too young right now and he's not ready. He's just ready to take the step. DC.
Yeah.
This is definitely a playoff team, of course. He said he never had a 50-win season since he been in EBL. This might be the year for him. He wins. To say that. So,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I hope it's not, but
Now, I think for the moment we've all been waiting for. What are your thoughts, Tyler, on this Bucks team?
yeah, now he's made some good moves. I'm excited to see how Daisy and Steves play well with each other. Like I'm genuinely interested in that. I'm interested to see how those two kind of coexist. Brennan Teed, he obviously had a great year last year. You got to hope that he repeats that this year. A full season with Daisy, and now that you have another scorer like Teed, I'll be interested to see if or another scorer like Steves. I'll be interested to see if Teed maybe takes a little step back, because he was the primary scoring target for most of the Bucks season last season, prior to trading for Daisy. So I'll be interested to see how those three in particular kind of coexist and how they get along. Obviously, the main focus is going to be on Scholes and seeing how he progresses and seeing what he looks like as a starting center. I think a lot of their success does rely on that, but I'm just interested in how. Because Teed took so many shots when he was their primary target. Steves is known for taking a lot of shots. Daisy obviously takes more shots than almost anyone else in the league. So really putting those three together, that's what I'm kind of interested in. Seeing who takes a step back, who coexists, that's going to be really interesting to me going forward.
I think it's got to be Teed, right?
I would assume. But like Teed took as many shots last year as Steve's did.
Yeah, and Steve's
now,
just went up in inside too.
Yeah, and Steve's went up. Now, granted, no one took as close to the fucking 2,000 shots that Doug Daisy took, but but it'll still be kind of interesting to see. Like, I'm not saying that's a problem. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want everyone to think like, well, like Tyler's saying, these guys won't be able to coexist. I'm not saying that. I just think it's going to be interesting how they coexist. Doug Daisy led the league in field goal attempts last year. And a lot of that was on the Nuggets where, Devonta, you can understand, like, you didn't have a ton of scoring options over there, so it does make a ton of sense that but he still had Joel's all last year, so it's not like he wasn't playing with a good score. So I don't know. I'm just kind of interested to see how it all plays out. I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying I'm interested to see it, if that makes sense. I think they're definitely a playoff lock, unfortunately, for anyone who preys on Kiki's downfall. I'm not saying I do, but anyone in that scenario,
Hey Town, if you're watching, shout out to you.
Shout out K-Town.
K-Town.
Yeah. I'm only talking about K-Town. I'm not talking about me. I would never prey on Kiki's downfall like that. So,
and Dan. Yeah. Shout out Dan.
Shout out Dan. Yeah, shout out Dan. Dan's definitely preying on the downfall.
He's a Kiki lover. He's a supporter of Kiki. For sure.
100%. Yeah, and Dan's not here to say otherwise. So that's the official podcast statement going forward. Any other thoughts on the Bucks before we move on?
No?
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, let's move on to the guy that we were just talking about. Let's move on to the Toronto Raptors, GM by Dan. Wick, I know I started with you last time. I'm gonna start with you again this time because I gotta get your thoughts on Dan's team first because it's Dan's team. So, Wick, how you feeling about the Raptors overall?
I thought they had a pretty good offseason. Unfortunately, tough to admit that, but looking at this team objectively, they improved their depth. They brought in Abdul Bub, who I think I'm a pretty big Abdul Bub skeptic. But I think on this team, if Bob is going to work on any team, it has to be this team They have the scoring. They got the defense. They just need Bub to show up and run up and down the floor and hit a few shots and grab a few rebounds. So I think it will work out well for them. I think it's going to be an upgrade over Mateo. I think it's going to be an upgrade over Travis Ford. Travis Ford is going to be good off the bench as the backup shooting guard, small forward. They've finally got some big man depth after last season, where they were sort of relying on FAs off the street. Nunez had a big TC, and all of a sudden looks interesting. Harley Mabry they traded for. I think he's third string now. I think he ends up being their backup center and power forward as the season progresses. Jingdu was a huge free agency signing because I think their only weakness prior to the waiver sim was backup point guard. I am not an Adrian DeMario fan at all. That has now been solved. This is a top 3 team in the East. They were the number 1 seed last season. Hell, they could do it again.
Yeah, it's right there with Knicks and Raptors for me, for sure. Devonta, you're in agreement?
Yeah, the big dude DC was underrated because his one glaring need was a backup point guard. He basically turned into one really solid backup guard, and that he definitely made some move. I mean, with Nunez having the going up and rebounding and inside does make him intriguing, especially at 24. He was having depth problems at big. He brought in Harley Mabry, even though I had to beg him to take Harley Mabry, but that's a story for another day. He also brought in Bub, like you said, kind of a do-it-all small forward. Even though I'm not a big fan of those type of guys, but if he's going to work, he's going to work in Toronto. Sure. Just with the supporting cast they have, I mean, honestly, what you really have to do at the 3 at that rate, just play some defense, grab some rebounds, catch and shoot. That's what I'm acting for. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this team is a 1 seed again. It's definitely going to be a tougher climb this year. You got the Pistons, of course, and you got the Knicks breathing down your back now, the brand new Knicks. It's definitely a top 3 seed here.
Yeah, they were the best team in the East last year.
Yes,
and they've gotten better. They've gone deeper, which is fucking scary. Having to play in the East against them 4 times.
Yeah. We've talked about a lot of good teams so far, but really, like, as good as all these other teams, like as good as the Bucks, as good as the Pacers, as good as the Cavs, it stands out to me. It's the Knicks, it's the Raptors, it's the Pistons. Not even in that order, just in some kind of order. It's like those are my 3. Like, if anyone else wins out of the East, I will be surprised. No matter how good these other teams are, I'll be shocked if it's anyone other than those 3, based off how good those 3 teams are.
Yeah. It's because all of those teams have the top 10 players, and they have this, the star, second options, and they've got the depth and the defense. Yeah, it's a blueprint for success, and I see why you have those 3 teams as the sort of tier 1 favorites coming out of the East.
100%. It's like a league of their own. I mean, I'm not saying no one else can win it. I'll just be surprised because there are a lot of good teams in the East. We've talked about a lot of good teams, but those 3 are like top of the class for me, like without a doubt. So I'm excited to see.
I would say Cavs for me are pretty much in that tier as well because I love their big 3. I really do.
Cavs are close for me, but Cavs will also pass y'all within 2 or 3 years. So like even if they're not there right now, like they'll be there regardless. So. I'm with you. I'm kind of with you on that. But yeah, in general, I'm with you. So,
yeah, it's like that, but not right now. Their reign of terror is going to start in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I mean,
that's when really going to kick off.
This core has come within a single win of a title. Like, not the exact core. They had Ken Twist. They had Kyle Strike in his prime, not Kyle Strike, Jason Carter. That's how good these young fucking players are.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I've said this before. I'm not going to say it again, but it's fucking insane.
Yeah. Nope, 100%. All right. I'd say let's call it for the East. That's it for the East. Take a 5-minute break, come back, do the West. All right. All right. So we moved on. We are done with the East. We are moving on to the Western Conference. Some would say the best conference in EBL. They'd be
I
wrong,
agree.
but some might say it. But some might say it.
On the opposite day, maybe?
Right. Opposite day's a real day,
Yeah, it's a real day.
It's a real day. All right, so we'll start with an actual good team in the West. Probably one of the top teams in the West, if not the top team, the Dallas Mavericks, and what they've done. I think they made obviously their biggest thing was Brett Bourne retired, and that sucks for them because he was a big part of that team last year.
Tyler, would you say
Interested
an MVP level career?
Yeah,
Sorry,
like
Hall of Fame level career?
Yeah, I'm putting Brett
Yeah.
Bourne in the Hall of Fame. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm putting Brett Bourne in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. Title winner or not title winner, but title winner. Yeah, title winner on the Pistons.
Yeah.
Came close with the Mavericks. Yeah, he's Hall of
MVP.
Fame to me.
Yeah, as a Finals MVP. Yeah.
Finals MVP. Yeah, he's got the resume for it. He might not have had the longevity, but yeah. So losing him hurts, but overall, I mean, the Mavericks still look good. They're still a good team. Obviously, the best free agent acquisition in the offseason, Benny Tatcha, is going to make a huge
Of
difference
course.
on that team. No,
On
but
opposite
I
days,
do.
best.
Right, yeah. Devonta, we'll start with you, fellow Midwest brethren. How are we feeling?
Of
How we feel
course.
about the Mavericks going into this
First
year?
of all, West Side's the best side, but anyways, the Mavs.
My fingers like stop working for a minute.
Keep in mind, y'all. It's late for Tyler. It's okay.
Right.
But it's a great team. They also had a surprise TC with Yevus.
Yeah.
Going up from what, B- to A-, if I'm not mistaken.
B to A-.
Oh, B
yeah,
to
A-.
A-. Yeah, they went up.
Yeah.
Which add another intriguing player to the team that can be a trade piece. I believe he is shopping them a little bit. He has another tradable first if you want to upgrade somewhere. But honestly, this team is great. I have them penciled in right now. It's about 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're about 2 seed right now for me. Yeah, top to bottom, the depth is good. I mean, you still have Dak, which I'm surprised they didn't lose because they had a questionable free agency. With Osborne and Dak, but hey, it worked out. Everybody's back. I mean, they just here to run it back with that addition to Yevus.
Yeah.
And Tassi, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Benny. Can't forget Benny. My bad.
Cannot forget Benny, for the love
the
of God.
anchor, the future anchor. My bad.
Right.
He should have been forgotten. He shouldn't have been offered a contract, but I'll save
Wick.
that for another podcast.
Wow.
I could talk about my hate for Benny Tatcha for a whole hour, probably.
We can do it. We can do a little Tatcha cast. Yeah, we can do that. We'll figure it out.
I'm all
Do you
for
think
it.
there's the man for that? Do you think our 5 fans would want that though?
Right.
Yeah. No, this is absolutely one of the top 2 teams in the East. In the West, sorry.
Whoa.
I
Don't
mean,
disrespect us now.
put them in the East, they're probably a 7th seed, but no, I'm kidding. No, this is a really
wow.
talented team. You know, I don't think their old players really had bad TCs, which is good. They added depth in Halil Yavuz. I think he could be a good backup point guard for them. They still have Jang Lee, who's still good.
Yeah.
Gary Hankin is a nice little depth add there. Yeah, I don't think Benny Tatcha was the move with their MLE. I think they could have added. There were probably 10 or 12 better big men to target in FA over Benny Tatcha. So I think the big man depth for me is leaving a little bit desired. But that is just that's really just nitpicking an otherwise really stacked team.
Yeah, I agree with that. If I'm Legion, I'm looking to take Jiang Lee, take your tradable first, and go get a big. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what I'm doing immediately. I'm figuring that out. Like that's got to happen. I think for them to be a serious contender, they can still win the West, but I think as it is, I think their big death will hurt them when they run into one of the Eastern juggernauts. So, I'm definitely I'm going all in. I'm not worried about the first. Your guys are aging out. Kondak is 33. Ryan Organ's 33. Even Kobe Osborne's getting up there at 29. Yeah, it's time. It's time. Galen's 31. It's time to push all in. Take your first that you had this year. Get some big man depth. Go find someone who can be your backup center power forward, and provide you with that depth. Because I think this team's almost there. And I mean, like I said, I think they could easily still win the West. That's not a matter of that. It's just going past that I get concerned with. So, but yeah, overall, great job by Legion. He's really built this team into something good. He keeps finding some studs randomly like Yavuz, and I think that's a big plus for him. So, I'm excited to see what this team does this year. Anything else before we move on? Okay. Just like I did not make Wick talk about his team first, I will not make Devonta talk about the Nuggets first. Classic rebuild team. Really happy with the TC result of Carlos Bentley. Obviously, that's the first thing that pops out for me with the Denver Nuggets is the absolute future stud in Carlos Bentley. I think he's going to be unbelievably good. Steal of the draft at pick number 8. Probably I had him as a top 5 talent. He's easily looking as maybe a top 3 player in this class already if he keeps it up. So big piece to build around Marquise, one and two. Marquise Brown. Yeah, we're going Marquise. Marquise Brown. I think he looks good too. There's a lot of good young talent on this team. He went up in rebounding, which is obviously his biggest concern. And so him only going up in one, but going up in the one thing that was a weakness for him, I think is huge for him. I think that's a good sign for his future. And then obviously we had the big trade for Carlos Patillo. I think that is a huge move that especially with his TC, he went up one in inside, one in handling, one in defense. He looks like a future stud there. So really, what's that?
Yeah, it was a great move for you, Devonta. And it was a move for the other team involved. It was certainly a deal that they made.
Yeah. But yeah. So overall, super quick, something I just noticed. I'm so sorry, Devonta, you're kind of like off center on this now. I can see, yeah, even a little bit more, like a time, like there, yeah.
All right, I thought maybe I don't know. All right, there you go.
I don't know how it's gonna bind, but Wick, was it the same for you?
Yeah, but it's much better now.
Much better now. All right, so
yeah. My bad. I don't know.
It's all good. We're all just let's go with the flow. And
it might even talking about Nuggets basketball. I got excited. I'm sorry. Like, I'm back to control myself anymore.
Hey, I can't blame you. There's a lot to be excited about. I thought you blew it up at the exact right time when you correctly identified that team, as constructed with Dacey and Joel's, was probably capped out. And now, it's taken you half a season since then to have potentially 3 building blocks, because I think Carlos Patillo could be your guy at point guard long term. Bentley, of course, looks a lot like an 19-year-old Baxter Gova. So that could be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how he develops. I think Marquise Brown could be a future defensive anchor. I think he could be not just an anchor, but a guy who can score as well. So I really do like his offensive profile. Jamil Monte is just gravy at this point. Like he's sort of been under the radar for pretty much his entire career in LA. Now I think he's got a chance to play under a frankly, a better run organization that will use him better. Love you, Droppy. But no, this is a fucking nice young court you're building. And that was, again, great timing on the rebuild. I think I even DM'd you because I thought it was it was the time.
Yeah. Devonta, how are we feeling about your team?
Yeah, I'm feeling great so far. I feel like I have a building block at point guard, small forward, and center. That is 3 spots I value very, very highly. Earlier y'all heard me talk about how much I value point guard and center. I think that's the 2 most valuable spots. I think number 3 would be small forward. It's hard finding wings in this league, and not just any wings, but actual quality wings. So the fact that I have an 18-year-old that kind of remind you of like that guy in New York that I hope he turns into, that's half of the battle right there. Finding a franchise player at a wing position. So now we just kind of just move forward. We're gonna just try to eventually, look for a young shooting guard. We have picks. We have a lot we can do. We have a lot of options. This should be a very exciting season. We're not gonna win too many games, but it's definitely gonna be something to build off of.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how everyone plays together and how everyone plays. You're definitely not going to win many games this year, but obviously that's a lot of that's by design, and you still kept your first this year through all of this somehow. So
Yeah.
great job on that one.
I don't even know how you did
that. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
really bright future in Denver.
I don't fully believe in Jamil Mante. But like, if he ends up not being your power forward of the future, you have plenty of pieces to figure that out. So, you got a lot of picks. You can get the shooting guard, you can get the power forward, or maybe Mante will work out, and then you can just get that. So, there's a lot to be excited about in Denver. Not this year, but in the next 2-3 seasons, I'm excited to see how that goes. I think that's all I have for Denver.
Shout out Corey Flock. Let's not forget about him.
Yeah, of course. Shout out Corey Flock.
A shared player between you two.
Yeah, another one.
Another one. Oh my God.
Another one.
There's a lot.
What might be the problem
here? Sharing.
Yeah.
All right. So we will move on to a team that could have had one of Devonta's players, the Houston Rockets.
As the saying goes, one man is trash is another man's treasure.
Right. Yeah. But they did a good job getting Ken Twist. I think that's a big move for him. He returns home to Houston, where he played the first 6 years of his career. So, excited to see how he does on that team. I think they had a quiet, good TC. Not a lot of people are talking about their TC, but Dennis Day, one of his few weaknesses was defense. He went up 1 to A-. Knew Sin, he had B- defense, so that was his big weakness. He raised it at least up to a B. Jude Mayo with a +3 TC, up in outside handling and defense. The acquisition of Ken Twist. Reddy Witherell is now an A+ defender. Now that he's been moved to small forward. Well, so I guess he stayed the same, but you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of good that happened in Houston, but very quietly. Not a lot of people are talking about it, which is fine. Even someone like Weeb Zimmerman went down 1 and outside, but he went up 1 in rebounding, which is what you want out of a big anyway. They are definitely not in the conversation of a championship caliber team right now, I don't think. But they're definitely one of the best teams in the West. They're a playoff lock for sure. And Jude Mayo looks like an absolute fucking stud. This dude is going to be legit for the future. I'm really excited to see how Jude Mayo progresses and the kind of year that he has. I have the Rockets as a sneaky kind of overachiever pick. I think they could potentially surprise some people. They have the anchor and Azulis, who I know on paper still just kind of looks weird, but he didn't change it all in TC, and he was still a 13 rebound, 4 block per game guy last year. He is got to be a stud for them. Dennis Day just keeps getting better. I really love this team as like a, not definitely not like a championship, but like I don't know, just something about it. Devonta, how do you kind of feel about the Rockets? Are you kind of on my wavelength about it?
Yeah, it's a good team. I think June Mayo is going to be a future MVP. I genuinely feel that way. I feel very
That's
strongly about
exactly
him.
how I felt when I saw
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah,
I feel very strongly
100%.
about him. The team, like you said, it kind of covered up a lot of weaknesses. I'm happy he finally traded for a shooting guard because I was getting worried. I thought he was gonna go into the season with Ruddy and just hope for the best. And I'm just like, oh God, please no, don't do it. Um, I still feel like he should have kind of went for it with the Joe's trade because I think that deal would have made him like put him on a totally different pedestal, especially in a weak West Conference. But
yeah,
I understood he went a cheaper route and he got a reliable player, a player that's
yeah.
familiar here in Houston. So I'm that's that's a good move. Yeah, I'm really excited to see June Mayo play this year. I don't know, like I'm kind of like I'm just on the gravy train with this one. Like I'm such a big fan. Might need his
Yeah.
autograph. I don't know, but Pagonis, is it me or he's just like slowly just getting worse by the years?
Well, I thought the same thing, but looking at him, he's the exact same as he was last year. So and he was elite last year.
Mm.
So playing wise,
Right.
so
Okay.
yeah. So he might just be one of those bigs that kind of, how we have a lot of like the all A minus bigs that underachieve. I think he's one of them like
Yeah.
overachiever bigs. So
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Fair. Fair.
yeah, I think he's fine.
All right. Also, he had some guys that had just quiet TCs. Also, like the Walfredo guy, he went up in defense and inside. He
Yeah,
looks like an intriguing guy for somebody just to go after. Um,
yeah.
he have some type
Bias.
of yeah. Like
Yeah,
he have
he's a
some trade
big dog.
pieces too. If he feel like, oh, I'm a step or two away, I can kind of
Yeah,
go all in. And you also have two tradable first still.
yep,
So I mean, this is a well constructed team. Y'all know my biggest problem with him was finding a shooting guard. I think he have a good enough shooting guard now where the
yep,
team would definitely. I can see them overachieving.
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they fall in that 3-4 seed range. I would not be surprised at all.
yep.
Maybe because I'm putting
I
so much stock into June Mayo, but I mean, hey, he looks elite.
I know you said future MVP, and Wick, I'll pivot to your thoughts in a second because I think you might play off this. If the Rockets overachieve enough, I can see Mayo as the MVP this season, and that's kind of how I feel about him currently. I don't know, Wick. We'll move into you. Like, do you kind of agree with that? Maybe.
Um, yeah, I think they're gonna need to have a really good season for that to be a possibility. I will say the talent is there though. I do
Yeah,
agree with
Hmm.
that part. I could see him having a huge year. He, as a rookie, like even as a rookie, he looked like he was on that trajectory already. The TC just
yeah,
reaffirms that for me.
yeah,
Um, but they're gonna need to be at least a top 3 seed for that to be a possibility. I don't know if the Rockets are quite ready for that yet. I do think though they probably will be a home court team in the playoffs. I
yeah,
think 4 seed, maybe even 3 seed. Hell, they might be ready.
yeah.
This team after that Kentwood steal, this
We're
team
kind
looks
of
a lot.
talking ourselves into it as we look at them,
Yeah,
aren't we?
I am. Like
Yeah,
I'm
we,
talking
we
myself into the Rockets. The more I think about them, the more I like them. Um,
yeah,
I will say though, guard depth leaves a little to be desired. Wing depth too. That's something they could address with one of their picks.
Yeah,
With and also throwback to one of our earlier podcasts, Tyler. I noticed that Sammy Lands is still on this team. Do you remember how Sammy Lands was like a big talking point
yeah.
for us in that first podcast?
Hmm. Uh-huh.
And how
Yeah.
horrible that pick was, and how we were all just roasting. I don't even know who the GM of that team was at the time. I don't think it was Seth.
I don't think it was Seth either. If it was Seth, it was like his first season.
No,
But I really
I
don't
don't
think it
think
was.
Seth is not bad enough of a GM to make that pick because he was a
No, I
rough
really
looking
don't think so.
prospect. But yeah, Whoever
Yeah,
made
that
that
is
pick,
funny now that you mention it. Yeah.
it's kind of hilarious how long he's stuck around on that team.
That was an Aesop pick. I just searched. It was an Aesop pick.
Aesop.
Yeah.
Shout out Aesop.
Shout out Aesop. We miss you, bud. No, we actually don't, but whatever.
No, we don't. We don't know you, bro.
Yeah, you weren't around enough for
That's
us
tough.
for you to miss him. I will say my one gripe so far looking at the Rockets is he has Dale Noy as like his like third string everything guy, and he should not be touching that position as far as I'm concerned. I would be putting Tsubasa Uno in that exact same role. Make him your backup small forward, shooting guard, point guard. Dale Noy is going to, if he has to play at all, it's not going to go well. So that would be my only. And I'm not saying like Tsubasa Uno is great. I'm just saying like, I mean, I think he at least provides something unique to the table that would be a little bit better than what Dale Noy brings. But you do, I mean, you have two tradable firsts, and you do have some contracts. Subasa Uno, Sammy Lands. You know, go out, get some depth, get a wing, get a guard. There are plenty of teams selling players right now that you could go out and find that depth in. That would be better than Dale Noy, better than, I think Reddy Witherell will be fine as a backup small forward shooting guard. I think he's good there. I wouldn't worry about that too much, especially with the defense that he provides. At least he brings something to the table. You know what I mean? So, so I think he'll be good there. He can rebound too. I'm not worried about that, but just some overall depth, especially like a backup point guard. They could use a backup point guard so badly on this team. So, I'm excited to see what Seth does. I hope he doesn't just call it quits. I think he's really close to not calling it quits like quitting, but like calling it quits on like, well, this is gonna be my team for the year. You know what I mean? Because I think he's close, and I think he's gonna be closer than he expects, and then that's when I expect him to maybe make a move or two. That's kind of, based off someone that I've known for, damn near 20 years of my life at this point. That's the kind of move that I would expect him to make. So shout out Seth. Maybe I'll insert like an old picture of me and Seth here. Probably won't. I'm not gonna fucking remember to edit that. I didn't remember. I was listening back to the podcast that we did the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this right here, and you could just hear me saying, I'm gonna put this right here, and then nothing ever happens. So that's probably gonna be the exact same thing for this one. But yeah, so shout out to Seth, shout out to the Rockets. Yeah, that's all I got for that. Let's go ahead. Let's move on to the KWO, the old Timberwolves. I can't remember who I started with last time. Devonta, we'll just start with you. How do you feel about the Timberwolves?
I mean, I feel like one of the things they had to go do was go get a center. And I felt like they went to go get one, Theo Campbell. I know there's a lot of Theo Campbell haters. I know that first and foremost.
There's two of them on this call right now, actually.
Two of them on this call. Yeah, it's not me though. I think he definitely filled a real need at center. And honestly, with the type of roster you have, I don't even think he needed like someone incredibly crazy to play the center position. Especially when you have somebody like Luka Warrior with you. And apparently this resurgence of this the hottest commodity in EBL apparently with El Feast. Like
that did that because you swapped to Kiki for 2 hours.
That's probably what it is. I mean, and I looked in the chat a couple of days ago and I saw like maybe a 10-minute conversation about El Feast. Like, from like 3 guys. I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but everybody loves El Feast, so
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Somebody was like, he might be a max guy.
5 points a game on shitty efficiency, go for it. El Feast is your guy.
I think people fall in love with the rarity of a potential defensive anchor. Like, it's such a rarity right now.
The one thing I'll say about Al Feast that makes him a little bit different than some of the other bigs in the league is he does have a little bit of outside game. He can hit some free throws pretty well. And I think that, I think that will help him a little bit as he tries to develop some offense. But, I mean, if he ends up being a defensive anchor and he can still make some free throws, there will be worse. I will say I did just Discord search Feast in the chat to see if I could see what Devonta was talking about, and the first thing that popped up was Mopo saying Kiki's glazing up Al Feast again in VC. so at least we're on the right track on that one.
Yeah, Kiki obsession with Al Feast is hilarious, honestly.
His
it's a good team though,
obsession with
man.
mid in general is just hilarious.
Right?
Yeah. I would never understand. What you say?
Oh, I said give Kiki a team anchored by Al Feast at center and Jace Hark at point guard, and he's set. He's good to go. So
that's the two important positions. That's all you need.
You nailed it.
Top 5 point guard, top 5 center. It's over with. I would never understand Erwin Bland. I would never understand this guy, but he is good. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I always try to figure him out.
Yeah, it defies all logic. Like all of the other good point guards in EBL are outside-oriented players, and he's probably the exception.
Yeah, he's just. I feel like he is so good at scoring inside.
He
needs
to be on a Grizzly.
Yeah, I know. If I didn't, I swear, if I did not have Rocky Skates and I wasn't in love with Rocky Skates, I would already be getting Erwin Bland back. Like that would have already happened, like tenfold. So, Wick, do you kind of agree with Devonta overall about the Wolves?
Absolutely.
Like, how do we feel?
I don't really have anything else to add. This team is mostly the same, other than Theo Campbell, who may or may not start. I haven't checked Ku's depth chart, but I would probably start Theo Campbell over Al Feast because I think Al Feast kind of sucks.
Theo Campbell is the starter. Al Feast is playing backup center and power forward.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Shout out Ku's roster titles this year. It's How to Train Your Dragon 4K download. I always enjoy seeing what he titles his rosters. So it's always a highlight for me going into the year. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys overall. I think it's interesting that he has Cesar Barros as his number one go-to guy. I'm not, and also Luka Warrior's not listed as a go-to guy. I think some interesting choices have been made on this depth chart, but I think he'll probably edit it as the year goes along. But
is he the type of GM who edits though?
Yeah, he does. Maybe not like a ton. Like he's not like me or Streeter changing every fucking sim, but yeah, he'll edit it from time to time. He'll make some changes. So, shout out Ku, an underrated GM. We know how good you are in this podcast, so you don't ever have to worry about. Yeah, you don't ever have to worry about that on here. Let's move on to oh god. All right, let's talk about the Spurs. Wick, we'll start with you. Go ahead and glaze up your brother's team real quick. How you feel about the Spurs?
I think they're a top 2 team in the conference yet again. I think there's been a lot of questions about their big men, specifically their centers. They're pretty old. Comment, Huck, Sumter, they're all now on the wrong side of 30, 33, 35. I'm not too worried about those guys. I don't think any of them even really dramatically declined in TC.
Yeah. No.
No, like maybe down 1 at worst for Marv. Marv's days are numbered as an elite big. I think they might be already over, but the rest of the core is pretty young. I think that gets overlooked a lot actually. Like Lorenz is 28, Bales is 25, Berkeley 25, Pontus 25. Like they've still got quite a bit of runway. They got a pick to trade. This is a good situation. They won 60 games. They were the only team to win 60 games last season. I think in the West they could very well do that again.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're playing a lot of these West teams more than any other team, I think it's definitely possible for them to win 60 games for sure. To your point, before I move on to what Devonta thinks, all of Huck, Comment, and Sumter all went down 1 in defense this TC. So that is a tiny bit concerning, but overall, I do agree that they'll probably be fine. Devonta, how do you feel about the Spurs?
They will win. They will win the West. This is the team I have penciled in number one. I can see them winning 60 games again. Like you guys said, it's not much competition over here. So you play these West teams 4 times. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not looking too great.
Must be
Just
nice.
say that.
Right.
Right. So it's a lot of layups for him. There's gonna be some big games over there. But yeah,
Imagine if he were in the
pretty much
Pacific and he played the Pacific more than he played the Midwest. Oh my God, he'd be a 70-win team.
yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Oh
Pacific
man,
is a
nah,
joke.
for real. Yeah, the time is ticking though with the Spurs. As far as their bigs, I mean, all
Yeah.
their bigs are pretty much old. At least the ones that matter, in my opinion. And I know he's gonna have to make some big moves soon. So I'm curious to see what he do in the next few years. But as of this year, he's fine. He's poised for another deep playoff run. Hopefully getting the championship here this year. I
No,
know some
not
people are.
hopefully. Let's not hope that.
I know some
Hopefully,
people. I know some people are not not on that train. But he's definitely going to make a deep run. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he make the finals, of course, because I mean it's the West. I guess there's not really much to say here. I mean, it's really the same core guys, honestly.
I got a
But
question
it's
for you
definitely a
guys.
well-oiled machine.
As a
that,
person, do you
Wick?
think Jackal has matured?
Absolutely.
I've stopped paying attention to him as much, so I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say so. He naturally calmed down over time. 'Cause I remember when he first came in here, it was like, I don't know
Oh
about this
yeah,
guy. I don't think he's
yeah.
gonna
No, I
last.
mean between how he was when he started and how he is now, no, he's definitely without a doubt matured for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I still laugh about how he got fired. like, it takes a
Yeah.
lot to get fired from EBL, and he somehow managed to, without fault accounting or like doing something really bad or saying something really bad. He was fired because he was annoyed.
Yeah, he didn't have to pretend
Yeah.
to be Asian. He just had to be himself.
Fired for being himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rough.
that's tough.
Tough times. I will say, just to kind of add on to this conversation real quick, if I'm Jackal, and you know, maybe I'm off base on this. If I'm Jackal, I give it this year. I try to run this team this year, see what it does this year, and then I'm trying to move Comment for whatever I can. I'm trying to move Heck for whatever I can. You know, Ponce is only 25, Berkeley's 25, Bales is 25, Lorenz is their oldest piece of 28. You know, it wouldn't be too hard to find you a different center. Like I'm trying to move Huck, Comment, and Sumter maybe even next offseason and seeing what picks I can get and then trying to trade for different bigs and trying to keep this rolling. You don't need to rebuild. You don't need to change the whole team up. You just need to change the bigs. So you need to get what you can, do what you can, and figure it out from there.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
eventually they're all going to age out to the point where you're not going to get anything from them. So, yeah,
It's
that's
getting
how
close to that point now.
is getting real tight, tight. Windows tight. Let's move on to a team that's not going to win the West this year, the Utah Jazz.
What? They got Blaze Trees.
They do have Blaze Trees. They have Blaze Tree, a highly controversial trade, trading for Blaze Trees. A core. It's an interesting team. You know what? On paper, y'all are gonna hate me for saying this. On paper, I think they can be a playoff team in the West. I
was
saying
that in the chat.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad that we're all on the same page. I know everyone's like top five this, top five that.
This is an echo chamber at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I know all of our opinions are becoming the same. I said it in the chat the other day. I don't think the Jazz are as bad as people think they are, and that's before they had Blaze Trees. And I don't think Blaze Trees is great, by any means, but he's competent enough to pull them into the playoffs in the West with Nardozzi and Skidinjic and Jamar Matthews. Mitsotakis is someone I've always loved, obviously. Huang D had a good first TC, and he was already he's fucking 7'8", 376. Like, I don't know, man.
Good ratings. Usually those big guys have really shit ratings, and he is probably the only one I've seen with good ones.
He had a good first TC.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern. I wanted to see what would happen in his first TC, and he did well. So I can definitely, pretty much what you're saying, I can definitely see him being a playoff team. See him sliding that 6, 7, 8 range, depending on what's going on. Blaze Trees, I know a lot of people not high on him, but he's not bad. He's not a bad point guard.
He's
by
not
any
bad.
means.
No,
he turns over the ball a lot, and that's the turnover. That's kind of the turn off for a lot of people, and I understand that. And some people also don't like short point guards. I mean, short kings stand up, but 5'11", it's okay. Yeah, but outside of that, I mean, the team is good. The team has some depth. With some of the young pieces, like I don't know if Jamar Matthews is he? No, he's not. He's not starting. Okay, so I don't know if he's playing him in the shooting guard and small forward spots but regardless, he have.
Skenzic is starting at small forward with
He's got to
Nardozzi at
start.
shooting guard.
No, I'm talking about as far as the backup spots. I don't know if Matthews playing the backup shooting guard, small forward spots, or are you trying out the Dimitri Smith guy as the backup shooting guard? I mean, regardless, you got options. A lot of young talent on this team. This team can be good in the next few years. And yeah, somebody has to overachieve in the West. I wouldn't be surprised if it's this team.
Same.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
and that's why I defended Derek in the chat. Probably I wouldn't defend Derek about his politics, but that Blaze Trees move. I think was defensible, and I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt with his, I think, consistently good GMing year in and year out.
Yeah,
because that Jazz team is usually competitive.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Nardozzi going up one and outside, I think will be big for him. He was already a pretty good scorer. He just wasn't as efficient. But he also had to take a lot of shots last year because there was no one really else on that team. So I'll be interested to see how he does this year with some more talent around him and also going up in that TC. I think they're good defensively. I don't think Huang D can be bad defensively. I think even if he had C defense, I think I'd be like, well, he's fucking 7'8", 376. He'll probably be fine. You know what I mean?
I think even be bad. Like at that
right. Just raise your arms. Just raise your arms in the air. You're good. Yeah. So I'm with you guys on this. I'm glad I didn't just get completely shit on for this opinion because I think they're a sneaky. I'm not saying they're a good team by any means, but when you look at the rest of this conference, they're a potential. I mean, I think they could be a playoff team. So
somebody has to rise above this shit.
Someone's got to.
Yeah,
somebody.
All right, we'll move on. I ain't talking about my team first.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, Devonta, we'll start with you. Yeah, my fellow Midwestern and fellow trade partner who knows my team inside and out because of how much we trade with each other.
Yeah, you have a lot of my former guys, Shout out Donnell Zuni. Shout out Julius Atterbury, he was here. We're not going to shout out Mateo Santana because,
Okay, that's fair.
He should have been a Nugget, but that's a story for another day. Very disappointed to see him on this roster. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to refresh it, and he just disappeared. But, it is what it is. It's a good team. It's one of those unique teams. I actually like that you went all in with the inside offense. I know you've been doing it for quite some time because I want to be a firm believer that an inside offense can win in EBL.
Yeah.
And it looked like you really learned the art of inside offense to the T, like with free throw shooting and everything. All the lessons you gave me in VC about inside offense. I don't know. It was like it's like a start. I really would love a start of a revolution of like somebody else running an inside offense and not just doing it for shits and giggles. Because normally when people run inside offense, it's just like, let me just get a bunch of inside guys, just hope for the best. Like, no, you actually try to compete with an inside offense.
Or it's like I want to tank. Let me just run inside real quick. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Which is which is always crazy to me. But yeah, it's a good team. I know you wanted Torrey Buff to kind of take that step, and he kind of didn't do anything. It's okay. You have 1,000 power forwards. I see.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I'm so
exactly what I was
intrigued
going
to
to
see
mention.
where you plug and play these guys, because from Sig Gun to Sizemore, Santana, Jose, like where everybody's playing at. Clearly, all these guys are capable of playing somewhere. Just
Yeah.
where. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see you editing your roster probably like 6 different times in the next 2 sims. So we will get that going. Of course, Rocky Skates. That's somebody's favorite guy. Somebody's biggest regret, I should say. I think we hear about him maybe once a night when it
Right.
comes to VC. It's like it's just
Yeah.
a random Rocky Skates conversation every night.
Yeah.
From a certain somebody. If you know, you know.
If you know.
Yeah,
A
if
lot
you
of
know, you know.
regrets
From
from
that
that
guy.
certain somebody
Yeah,
about letting him go.
Right.
Yeah, overall, man, this team top 4 seed. Of course, I mean it's kind of who else gonna get there anyway? I mean it's the fucking West.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a top 4 seed. And I mean I'm silently rooting for you, Todd, honestly, because I just want to see the inside offense win. I want to see everybody kind of be like, "What the hell? How that happened?" And
I
then somebody
appreciate
else
that.
tries it. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
We
fuck
tried
Mateo. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But before we move on to Wick, just for posterity's sakes, I am starting this year, trying Mateo Santana out at center, and
Okay.
I have put Sid Gunn at small forward, because Sid Gunn stays the same defensively at small forward, but Mateo Santana drops at small forward, and Mateo Santana stays the same at center defensively. So, and also I didn't realize Mateo Santana is also bigger than Sid Gunn. Like they're the same height, and he's also got a few pounds on him. So it's an interesting thing that I'm trying. It might not be how it is, but for Sim 1, we're gonna try it out. So, yeah, that was some
I mean,
Mofo made me aware of that in the VC the other night. He was like, "Hey, Sid Gunn's defense stays the same at small forward, and Mateo Santana stays the same center, right?" And I was like, "Bet, let's try that." So,
So that was the thought process for me. I saw Mateo's size. I was like, oh, if I could move him to center and move Marquise Brown to power forward, because Marquise Brown
yeah.
will go to A- at power forward.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I was looking
nice.
like,
Okay.
if I could put him at center, move him down to power forward, I think it can work. I really genuinely thought it can work. But of course, you shitted on that parade, so good.
Okay. Well, my
All
bad.
right, Wick, on to you, man. Just on to you.
yeah, I mean, when you said there's 1,000 power forwards on this team, you pretty much stole my one contribution to this Grizzlies discourse. No, but yeah, this is actually a really talented roster, and I think a lot of people were impressed by your success with inside offense last year. You're the reigning GM of the year after all, but yeah, this is easily a home court team. I'm excited to see Sid Gunn at small forward. I'm excited to see Mateo Santana at center. Not much else to be said. This is, you're experimenting and trying to break the mold, reinvent the wheel with EBL rosters, and maybe even destigmatizing inside offense.
Potentially.
Potentially. So yeah, I'm gonna be. It's hard to root against the Grizzlies. So
I appreciate that.
yeah, I'll be rooting for them
Not
as
just
well.
because we're all friends, but yeah, in general, right. I'm
No,
sure, right? Yeah.
I'm friends with Keith, but I hope his team loses every fucking game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. Right.
I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I only have 2 players on my team without higher than B+ inside, and that's Mark Hood and Rocky Skates. Rocky Skates, obviously, I don't care what his inside is; he can be C+, and I'd still start him. And then Mark Hood's kind of like more of a point guard anyway. Yeah, it's just I tried to build it both looking at inside and free throws. Those are my 2 most important things when I was trying to build this team. So, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But like I told someone else, if it doesn't work, like I don't think an inside offense is ever gonna work because I don't know, man. Like I tried my best on this one. I tried my hardest. I put a lot of thought into it. There's definitely, do I wish I maybe had like a Marv Comment at center who I know could get 20 plus and also still shoot 80% of free throw? Yeah, of course. But it is what it is. So we tried, and I think I'll be a playoff team for sure. Probably a higher seed. But whether it does well in the playoffs, we'll see. I just hope I beat the fucking Spurs. Can I beat the Spurs once in the playoffs? Like, my God, man. It's all I want. Like, I don't care about a title. Let me beat Jackal. Fuck. I'm over it.
What's Mark Hood at point guard?
What's that?
What is Mark Hood at point guard?
I think he stays the same.
Now, hold on. Keep that in my notes right there. I might need that.
Might need that for the future.
I feel another Grizzly Nuggets trade coming on.
Yeah, Mark Hood stays the same at shooting guard and point guard.
That's what I love to hear. Yeah. I'll be in your inbox after this. Don't worry.
Yeah, I love Mark Hood. And he had a good TC, so I'm a big fan. We're big fans of Mark Hood around this part. But yeah, all right. So let's move on to the Pacific.
Yeah.
We got
final division. Let's go.
We got the Golden State Warriors. They had a big IFA signing, Peter Carey, who, I think he still looks okay. I don't think he had, the TC that the dude is hoping for, but he looks fine. Other than that, this is just kind of a rebuilding team. They finally traded away Ken Twist. That was their big piece that they still had left to move. Other than that, everyone else has been moved. They have their own pick this year. They had the Grizzlies and the Rockets picks this year and the Raptors pick next year. I don't think either of those will be lotto, but they're at least complementary pieces to their own picks. So they just need to hope they lose enough games. The biggest disappointment for them was the Donovan Fleming TC. So we'll just get that out of the way now.
That was brutal.
Yeah. I mean, at least he didn't go down. So, I mean, there's still hope for him, but definitely would have liked to see him make some improvement in this TC. So, yeah. Yeah.
Just
So, yeah, that's
the
the only
players.
saving grace. Wes Fleming not going down at least.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't want a nothing TC from your point guard. You dropped the number 1 overall. We know that. But it could have been worse because if he went down the outside, honestly, it's over with. You might well just stick a fork in him at 19, and that's nasty.
Yeah. You Donovan Fleming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a strange joke.
It's fucking almost 4 a.m. here. All right, fucking relax.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it as an insult. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just a rebuilding team, though. Not much to be excited for yet. You will have a top 5 pick probably in this year's draft, and that's extremely important with how loaded this draft is. I mean, you get to see what Peter Carey can do at point guard. I'm assuming he's starting. I'm not sure. I would hope he's starting for this year at least. And maybe if you want to, you might can get some value out of him. I don't know what's the plan with Peter Carey with Dewey. I'm pretty sure he's gonna probably use him as trade bait. At least I would.
Yeah, probably.
And just to get another first, and kind of just go with the growing pains of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough year for the Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By design, though.
Yeah, by design.
Which is good. No, that should be rough.
Yep.
Yeah. I definitely would be very upset about Fleming.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
and seeing who he could have had. A lot of those guys went off.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit brutal.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at Donovan Fleming and then you look over at Dane Mayo, it's like, oh fuck,
Yeah, that one hurts. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, he was in the toughest position though, because he did have the number 1 overall pick, and it wasn't no surefire number 1 pick. He was just kind of. I know. Me and him talked when he had number 1 pick, and he was flip flopping between Marquise Brown and Fleming. Obviously, he went with the point guard because people are going to value the point guard more. I'm I'm actually high on Fleming. I got to kind of down that hill at this right now, despite him having an up in TC. I know a lot of people hated him. I was like, I understand why. I guess right now people are like, well, this is why right here. But I mean, he's still 19. He still have a lot of time. And it only takes one TC for you to go like, oh, goddamn, okay, he's gonna be a star. I mean, we see that with a couple of these point guards. It just happens. That don't mean it's gonna happen the first TC. Like I said, I'd rather nothing TC than you going down and outside, where it's like, okay, at this rate, he pretty much have no value for me. He's B minus, B minus. That doesn't do anything for me. So, I mean, hang in there, dude. You're gonna be all right. He's not a bust. We're not gonna write him off yet. He's only 19.
Absolutely not. I know a student, someone in VC the other day was completely writing them off, but that same person also drafted Karapic top 10. So.
Look at the strays. That's so fun.
Are you saying he knows what a bust point guard looks like? You know what I mean?
I mean,
I'm saying he's maybe not a credible authority on drafting point guards or point guard prospects.
I would agree. Before we move on, I will say, they did have, Balut Osby. He had a decent TC, went up one in inside, one in rebounding. He looks like he's credible now. Isaiah Ingram also went up in inside and rebounding. He looks promising. Tristan Morris finally improved to B+ outside, so there's life there. My boy Braxton Morant finally went up one and inside. There's signs of life there. Shout out Braxton Morant. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, gonna be a rough year for him, but hopefully next year's a better TC. Hopefully they can put these picks to good use in a loaded class, and that'll be what matters the most, more than anything that happened this year. So, we'll move on to a team that I think is a playoff team in the West, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah.
They should. There's no reason they shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. I still go back and forth on how I feel about this team overall. Wick, how do you Guillaume's team? Guillaume's your boy. How do you feel about the Clippers?
He's my boy. Shout out Guillaume. Shout out UConn. We're playing in the national championship game. I'm sure he'll be watching. Shout out Connecticut as a state. It's a great state. Very leafy and green. It's
way
beautiful.
too far.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Wrap it up.
Shout
out Wyoming. Sorry, B Money. We didn't go shout out Wyoming when we talked about the Hawks.
No. We're only shouting out Connecticut from now on. All right. Anyways, nearly lost Lemke. Right. I think that needs to be addressed. That was kind of a funny saga, and actually made me pretty happy seeing the certain GM who bid on him and thought he sniped him not end up with him. So yeah, I enjoyed that. This team underperformed severely last year. I feel like they should have been in the playoffs. I don't think they're materially better this year. They didn't really have a huge TC or a huge addition that has changed them.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I feel like they should be in the playoffs. I don't know how you guys feel. Or maybe I'm a little too high on them.
I mean, especially in the West, I think they're a playoff team, right, Devonta? Is that kind of what you're at?
It's the mixture of both. Just a weak conference, and also, I mean, it's a solid team. I mean, it's not. It seems not really bad. I mean, on paper, they look pretty good. I don't know what might be the actual problem here. Maybe it can be a mixture of things. Just being too young, maybe. Maybe somebody has a liability on defense that's really killing them. I'm not into the metrics as much as y'all, at least not yet, because it's not on the almanac yet for me. For the simpler guys like me, shout out to MSC. Can't wait for that. Like how we just plug in sponsorships for MSC, but anyways, but yeah, this team is definitely going to be a playoff team, probably the bottom half of the playoff seedings, but they're going to make it.
I mean, I think for me, it just kind of depends on I mean, first of all, Limke went up. He went up in defense. I think that's big. Champa went up in defense. I think that's going to be big for him. You know, Lardy didn't do anything, which is kind of what you want for Lardy, so that's fine. I kind of like Jeff Burkich to be their starting power forward this year.
Me too.
I believe that's the goal.
Marino going down and inside but up and outside is interesting to me. It feels like he's now more of like a kind of like a 6-man type than he is a starting power forward.
Yes.
I would also be intrigued to see what he is a small forward.
I was about to say, would you consider him like a super 6, maybe?
I don't know about a super 6. He might die at like shooting guard and point guard. But
checking his ratings in VC the other day, and he says
I remember that. Yeah.
Center and small forward. So he could be a backup 3 to 5.
Yeah, but he definitely dies at shooting guard and point guard. I'm pretty sure.
He dies at shooting guard. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely make him backup center, power forward, small forward. That fixes a lot of your depth issues right there. Then you have Limke, Burkich, Sadikov, I think will be fine. Champa going up in defense, I think is going to be big for him. I'm obviously in love with Harris Champa. So that's big for me. But
and then free agent this offseason. That's all I'm saying.
Let me try to get some cap real quick. But yeah, I mean, I think they're a team that could like shock like there's a part of me that goes, all right, this division sucks so much ass that there's a chance they could compete for the division. You know what I mean? It's like it's them and the Thunder. Like there's no one else top to bottom for me that could win this division other than the Clippers or the Thunder. That is it. There's nobody else. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how that plays out. But I do like the team. I think it's really good. And I think it's only going to get better. They're pretty young. I think Guillaume made a good move trading for Charles Lardy, as much as I hate to say it. It really kind of pains me to my core. So, but I think that was the right move at the right time. So,
what if I was just going to like join the next podcast with like a plate of crow for you to eat?
You're right. Yeah. 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 All right, so I mean, I guess we're all kind of in agreement about the Clippers, and let's move on to the other team in LA. Devonta, why don't you start? We can talk about the Lakers.
All right, man. My good buddy, Brum Nasty, aka Nick Brummer, aka I don't know, the least favorite EBL.
Nick No Handles.
Okay, Nick No Handles, yeah. So he have 3 firsts this year. Let's go into that. And he also has his first. And he also has and he also has his first this year. That's a big deal because last year he didn't have his first. That wound up turning into Donovan Fleming. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing right now. But it was a bad thing that he traded that first for Oscar Cuddy, who I guess he was. I talked to him. He said at the time it was supposed to be a win now move. I guess he was trying to trend in that direction. I don't know, trading for at the time a 34-year-old guy was gonna do it, but hey, he did it. He learned from his mistake, hopefully, and we keep it moving. So he has 3 firsts. 2 should be late because it's the Knicks, who's the championship favorite, and the Cavs, who's probably gonna make a deep playoff run. But picks are picks, especially in this draft because it's a loaded class. This team, I mean, outside of Plaskett, who's also a pending free agent, it's there. We know we have minus or minus. I don't know. It's either or. How you feel? He had a bad TC. The previous guy who had him, he just raised and then he just traded him off. He said, "Fuck you," pretty much. I don't know who that guy was, but he did it. Yeah, he went down the inside and outside, which was very, very questionable for a guy that already wasn't the most efficient scorer. So I'm intrigued to see if he actually is probably the same or he actually took an actual step back. Because I mean, like Wick said earlier, a guy can lose 2 strength and lose rebounding or defense or something like that. I wonder if it's a situation like that with him. Like he just lost a few points somewhere and he was just right at the bottom of A- or at the bottom of B- tier. And it actually wasn't even much a bad TC. He might just be the same guy. I guess we're going to see. I know he's actively shopping him. I would say good luck because I know that contract is pretty large too. Yeah, he has 5. He still has 5 years left on this max deal, which is unfortunate. The good thing is Wallace had he had a solid TC. He looks like a promising prospect at 20.
Whoever picked that guy is really smart and really good looking as well.
Okay, yeah. All
Yeah.
right, whoever that guy is. Yeah, man. So pretty much this next year. Also, he have the King. I don't know how the Kings first gonna look next year. Honestly, with how good that TC went, but he also has the King first next year.
Yeah.
He really needs to hit on his pick.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. I think he knows that. He's well aware. I think everybody's aware of that with his team. He has to hit on his next pick because I know you haven't really had the best of luck with some of his other high draft picks like Ashton Cuff, who's just kind of just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of work cut out for him. Hopefully he's motivated. It looked like he's motivated since the draft list before the season started. So that should tell you everything about his motivation right now. Being a former Lakers GM, I hope we bring him back to relevance. I really do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wick, anything to add?
Yeah, I just don't really understand why they made that Patio Monte trade.
I understand.
I mean, those guys seem like their most promising young players. So, I mean, look, I think, yeah, they just need to hit on their picks at this point. Sucks that Daryl Eaker hasn't worked out so far. Ashton Acuff as well hasn't really worked out. Yeah, if they don't hit on their picks, there's nothing really here.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Any other thoughts? That's kind of sums it up pretty good.
Yeah, that sums it up.
I mean, Eaker is still 19. Anything can happen. And honestly, a
That's
team could change. A team could change so much if you just hit on a few draft picks. I mean, I know SF. He done that a couple of times. Now, I'm not saying Brum is the same drafter, but I've seen guys pretty much draft a team, and next thing you know, it went from a pretty just team with no direction to, oh man, this team has a very, very bright future. It can happen that fast, especially, and this is the draft class where it can happen. So
No, you're absolutely right. And actually, to add to that, the Cavs did have a few, couple seasons there, 5 or 6 seasons back, where, it didn't really appear as though they had those building blocks. And then, as you said, they got their Josh Thrasher, they got their Ian Pizer, and all of a sudden they've got the brightest future in EBL.
Right. It doesn't take much.
Right.
Let that be a lesson to all new GMs. It really does not take much to change the course of your future. It's really just hitting on the right guard. It's hitting on the right big, and then you call it a day. So, let's move on to the Phoenix Suns, who had the guard of the future, and then all of a sudden now they don't. So Boban is gone. The team is in shambles. But K-Town's got some firsts. He made a few moves, went all in on the rebuild without Boban, which I mean you had to do at that point because good lord, finally traded Jake Lease. So shout out K-Town, finally getting that deal done. Did a very questionable trade with Wick, but I guess I'll skip over that one a little bit. But
he has a clean slate of cap space. You got to remember that.
Yeah, he is good on cap space now.
Yeah, he's got 2 or 3 maxes going into this free agency.
He did try to start Steve Whiting at center. He did try to start Steve Whiting at center and power forward. That's been fixed now though. So shout out, shout out fixing the depth chart. I think for them, Yang Lin, surprisingly to me, doesn't look all that bad now. All it took was him going up 1 in defense for me to go maybe there's something there. You know what I mean? It's not like he's completely devoid of talent. I'm still, no, I'm out on Bristol Ring. I'm still out on Bristol Ring. He went up 1 in defense, but I'm still, he's got to do something scoring wise for me to be in on him. Honestly, at this point, they don't really have, right. Yeah. And they don't really have a building block at this point. They're just they just have a few pieces that could be okay. But they got to start hitting on some draft picks, and they got to start making some moves that way, as far as I'm concerned. Wick, is that kind of how you're feeling about
That's exactly
Suns?
how I'm feeling. In fact, the more I look at this team, it's a very similar situation to the Lakers.
Yeah.
We're in the early stages of what's going to be a long rebuild, but they have really no other choice. It's really unfortunate they lost Boban. I know K-Town was particularly unhappy about that, and a certain GM backing out of a deal that was tentatively agreed upon, which made for actually one of the funniest moments in voice chat history.
A lot of dicks are being eaten in that voice chat, you know? A lot of
yeah. Kind of like what you said, Tyler. It's no building block with the Suns, and the only thing that scares me, and he's gonna have a lot of work cut out for him, is he don't have his first this year. His first is in Miami, and I think who first he has? He has the Pacers first from the Jake Lee's trade. So now it's a situation where you're not trying to really hit in the draft. You're trying to hit in free agency because you have all the cap space. They're going to have a bunch of guys that don't have birds out there. And obviously you might have a potential of Chris Kobe, Derek Ball the third. And you have guys that's going to be potential Plaskett if he matters. You're going to have guys that you can actually bid on. So hopefully the luck returns, and kind of go in his favor for losing Boban. Is like, here go Chris Kobe for you. Here go Derek Ball for you. Hopefully.
Right.
That's pretty much it. That's all you can do is kind of coast through the year.
That's it. Yeah. You got to try to find at least one building block. Like, try to get someone in free agency. If you could just hit on one, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you need.
Yeah,
so,
and that's why
I changed the whole trajectory.
Yeah, whatever, Wick. I still, all right. Yeah, I didn't fleece him. Okay.
How we feel about Steve Whiting?
Every trade I make is win-win.
Well, first of all, Wick and I are completely out on Steve Whiting. So, I mean, there's no.
I was out of him as a draft prospect just because of
I would say, too, honestly, I mean, if you can, I would try to trade him, too. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like him personally, but I know you can get some value out of him. So it's like, why not just trade him? Start fresh completely. Just go for it.
I get that. I think you'd be worth a first at least.
Yeah.
I mean, some team could talk themselves into giving up a first for a decent ratings, productive enough, young.
I think he's kind of high. I think he's high on him, though, at least from the conversations we had. But honestly, I would just clean house completely. Just get him out of there.
Get rid of everyone. Fuck it.
I don't think there's
even the Kyrie guy. The Kyrie guy is intriguing. But get him out of there. Fuck it. Just get him out.
Bye. All right.
Let's see if you can get a first in this year class.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Get as many first anyone. That's literally. Yeah. Let's move on. Let's keep this moving. Move on to the team that stole Boban right out from under K-Town. Let's move on to right. Thank you, Lords. Right on to the Portland Trailblazers, who had a sneaky, quiet, good TC. I don't see a lot of people talking about their TC, but I really like their TC a lot. Oddly enough, Christian Iverson at age 31 kind of looks like a legitimate small forward now, which I'm not sure how everyone else feels about that, but I strangely like him.
He looks a lot like Kendrick Hucker looked last season when he still had that B- inside.
Yeah, minus the handling though. I think the handling's a big. I think the handling's a big part for Hucker. He reminds me more. He kind of looks like Kyle Strike, and that does now. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly what
get me very close to Strike.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then Achelos, his big weakness is in defense. He raised that up one. This point guard Brendan Potiphar or whatever. I know he doesn't have birds on him. I'd keep an eye on this guy for future free agencies, just as an aside. He went up one in outside, one in handling. I think that there's a chance that, if he has another TC like that next year, you're looking at, a potential free agent gain there. Boban up to A+ outside. Atron Rucker raises rebounding one. Ilari and Kapanja, the often talked about Ilari and Kapanja went up in both defense and rebounding.
That's fucking God.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot there for the Blazers. I think they have a lot. Some of their older guys died. Caleb Bale looks useless now. Darrell Lively is slowly becoming less relevant. I still don't love him as a starter, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of is what it is at this point. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs this year in the West. It's a weak West, so I mean, it's borderline. Like Devonta, how are you feel about it?
Want to say that? I don't know. It's so many young guys. Like,
Yeah,
I think he will fight for a spot because honestly, I don't think it takes a lot to make it as the 8 seed in the West. Because I
right.
don't even know there's 8 guys that are legit trying to contend in the West. Well, he might just be one of those guys that just kind of just stumble on the 8 seed, like, oh, I've made an 8 seed as a 36 win team. Like,
Yeah.
like it can happen. So it's an outside chance of an 8 seed, but I don't know.
I didn't see the playoffs for them this year. I really don't. Even with the Boban addition, defensively, I think it's going to be rough. If Darrell Lively is starting at center again,
Is he starting?
Actually, I want to check that.
Who else do
I don't
they
know if he
have?
posted one. Blazers. I don't think he
hasn't posted yet. If you're listening,
Oh.
ADM, probably don't start Darrell Lively if you're trying to make the playoffs. If you want to
Who
take
else does
this
he
year,
have?
Do you start Kapanja? You see what he has?
he's a bit light
Yeah.
at center. That's my one concern. I would prefer him at power forward, but I'd probably give him the nod over if my other option is Darrell Lively. This is the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Someone just needs to go get Lively from the Blazers because he would make a perfect like backup center power forward. Like he'd make a great third big. He just can't start. He can't be your starting center. Well, Wick, what'd you offer? Like a dust bunny and a future sandwich? Like what? Like what?
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah, I offered fair market value in my
No, because I think Lively is an exceptional third big. Yeah, but he has no business starting at center. So
yeah, so I'd probably trade him for a first if I could get one. I think that'd be fair for a third big. His contract is also not great. Whoever gave him that contract is a real dumbass.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Who were we talking earlier about the team that desperately needs a third big? Like who was it? Dallas. Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
Dallas should find a way to go get Lively.
It would be a good fit. They do have Keenan Beat, who didn't decline too much. Who I think has been a good third big, regrettably.
I think, I mean, I guess. I think Lively's exceptional at that. Again, should not start him, and I would keep Keenan Beat in case Osborne gets hurt. That way you can start Keenan Beat, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just really like Lively in that role.
A team like the Mavs definitely could use Lively, though. Like, because they just need another body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, somewhere like the 7 to the 10 seed is kind of the 7 to the 9. I think if they miss the playoffs, I think they're like the last team out. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I feel about the Blazers.
That's exactly what I'm at. I think they're going to be probably like the first team out or second team out. I can see them 9-10 seed. That's why I say it's an outside chance of them making the playoff. I think it depends on who is their center. Like, so let's say if they do try out Kapanja and he actually plays well there, okay, I can see them being an 8 seed. Or if Boban just turned to God, I don't know. Like, it's just something has to happen. Or it's just like, okay, yeah. Even if that happens, you're still in 8 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think they're between a 7 and a 9. They're either gonna sneak in as like a 7 or an 8, or they're gonna miss it as a 9, and that's kind of where I'm at. So,
okay.
But yeah, shout out. Either way, good young future. I mean, having Boban and the Chilios, I mean, they're good. They'll figure it out. They'll figure the rest out. So, Let's move on to the most ridiculous fucking training camp I've ever seen in my life. And let's talk about the Sacramento Kings, who just went up in everything. I mean, if you look at their TC, +5, +4, +4, +4, +4, +3, +2, +2, +1. It's absolutely insane. Like, I mean, just hands down the best training camp, team-wise training camp I've ever seen. Shout out Sochin and whoever your previous alt account was, because you're not a new GM. I mean, this team.
Yeah, you're Polo. That's Polo. I've been saying that for the longest. Like, yeah, that's Polo alt right there.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Devonta, we'll start with you. How do you feel about the Kings? I mean,
well, I wasn't happy because I was the owner of the Kings next year first, and the only reason why I traded Keandre Gaines because I felt like, I can get a Lotto in another draft, and I can use this pick for something else. And then he has the greatest TC of all time, of course, because I have his pick. And I instantly trade the pick because I don't want nothing to do with that shit. Like, you got it,
right,
man. A good team, like, honestly, up and down. It felt like everybody fucking had a great TC. I mean, I don't know who didn't. I mean, you can nitpick and say, Julio Pozo didn't do much. Okay. Like, it doesn't matter when you have Finn Bloodworth turning into a goddamn future star. Like, I don't like
that pisses me off, but whatever.
No, I'm sorry. And of course, Keandre Gaines, he have a good TC. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't think it was gonna happen like this. Kind of hurts my feelings, but it's okay. He went out and he signed Carl Parrish, the IFA, and of course, I don't know what they're doing out there with their training facilities, but he has a great TC.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what you do at this point because everybody had a great TC. He has a surplus of depth everywhere and just young talent. At this rate, I think you just sit back and you just let the team just play out. Yeah, and just kind of just hold and just, I don't know, just kind of just hope for the best and just kind of wait until next training camp to kind of like, so you can see the guys separate.
Yeah.
I mean, this TC was incredible. No doubt about it. We got to remember, a lot of these guys haven't played. Ratings only tell part of the story, and progression isn't linear.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to anoint this team quite yet as like the future of the West. I need to see games played. I need to see how Bloodworth looks now after his big TC. I need to see what, Gaines looks like. I see. There's a lot of players that we haven't really seen yet. So,
right.
But yeah, really promising start for their rebuild. It feels like Sochin has been here for 5 seasons already. Turns out he's only been here 2 years. So yeah, who the fuck were you before?
2.
Have we been talking to really?
Like 52 Polo? All right.
But yeah, no, it's an insane collection of young talent.
I mean, the good news, Wick, is you'll get plenty of chances to see them play when they whoop your ass in the regular season like they always do.
They probably won't now that they're good.
Oh yeah, you might be right. Yeah, yeah. The curse is now they have talent. The curse has been lifted.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, no, I mean the only 2 players that had a bad TC on this team, Lee Hilson went down 1 in handling, and Jacques Demay kind of died a little bit. He went down in inside and outside, so I'm definitely out on him, I think. But like other than that, if those are the 2 players that went down in TC for you, like fuck off, like right? You know what I mean? Like everyone, Jamal Moran, like who the fuck is he? And he went up 2 in outside and 2 in defense. He looks like a starting shooting guard already. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like. The whole thing's crazy to me. Shout out Finn Bloodworth. I knew I was right when I drafted you. So Tyler, once again, add to the drafting resume, Yeah, other than that, I mean, the team, like Wick said, definitely can't anoint them yet. There's definitely games to be played. We don't know exactly how they'll be, but like, I mean, just on paper and from what I can see, the team's got a great future. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
They have their own pick this year. They got the Bucks pick next year, which Kiki could get bored of Daisy and trade him by that point. You never know. So like it's just It's interesting. I'll be interested to see where this team goes. Shout out Soshin. Also, probably just one of my favorite new GMs in general. I love talking to him. He's like, he's good in the voice chat. I like having him around. So, shout out Soshin. Finally, we get a good Kings GM again. We had fucking GBB's alt. We had Harmon. Like, what are we doing? Give me. I'm glad we have someone that I like. As for my old team, like I still identify as a Kings GM. So it's important for me to have a Kings GM that I like. So I'm glad we got Soshin in the league. But yeah, absolutely. All right. Let's wrap it up. Let's move on to the last team, Oklahoma Thunder. For no particular reason, Devonta, let's start with you. How are you feeling about the Thunder this year? What do you got going on with the Thunder? How do they look?
The team, I mean, some of the best young talent in the league. We know that. DB3, Chris Colby, who's still a question mark. We haven't seen him start yet. You got Tyru, who's a very, very interesting small forward. He played really well last year. And some people are in, some people are out. I mean, he's another one of the point guards that was drafted by yours truly, Mac Pitcher. I mean, I'm all in, of course. We love Mac Pitcher.
Yeah.
But some people think he should go another route with Mac Pitcher. I honestly think this team is probably going to win the Pacific by default. Also, so which means, top 3 seed, top 2 seed. Also on top of that, I really feel like this team is one legit trade away from being a true dynasty.
Yeah.
I can see it. Because there's multiple routes you can go. You can trade Chris Colby and and maybe he have his picks, right? Maybe piece up some picks and try to go get somebody like a Lionel Pap or something like that and move Sammy Mellis back to power forward. And now the team just looks crazy. Or you can, or you can try, if you're not big on Matt Pitcher, which like I said, a lot of people are not, you could piece up some first and you can go get you another point guard. Or you can pair him up with Mac Pitcher because he's still 24 and looks great.
Right.
You can do that as well. Or if you just want to go completely left field, you can even entertain offers for DB3 and just see what you can get. He is a pending free agent. If you're scared that you might lose him, and with the haul you can get for him, you probably can get 6 first value for him, like with equivalent of like prospects and picks. You can go that route.
I would look at the Basie trade as a sort of litmus test for what you could get for DB3.
I'm gonna just say 6 right now because I don't remember everything I got from the Daisy trade. I know I got a shitload of picks, but I just say 6 for right now to be safe.
Yeah.
And you can go a totally different route with that and just kind of I ain't gonna say retool, but yeah, to a sense. Because you will have to figure out, one person that doesn't fit the timeline is your power forward right now.
Yeah.
With Garrison. And I feel like once he figured that out, he literally can just sit back and coast. I would personally look for a center and move Mellis back to power forward because that's his natural position. But the only way you're going to be able to do any of these things if you answer your DMs. That's the only way you're going to fucking be able to make any moves, all right? You have 1,000 options, and I don't know if you're scared because it's like you're new and you're just trying to see what happens. But I genuinely feel like you're one move away from just complete dominance, especially where the West is set up right now. And even if the Spurs, if you make the move and the Spurs win the West this year, I promise you they won't next year unless they figure out their big situation. They got a bigger fish to fry. Once again, you have to answer your goddamn DMs to make this happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all got it.
There you go. Hey. Yeah. Good job, Devonta. Hey,
look at you. A little bit like SF.
Was that? Oh yeah. Well, no, because SF would be just passive aggressive about it in the chat. he wouldn't do a full call out, So, shout out SF. I guess I'll add on real quick to that, just because I want to rebound on some of the talking points Devonta had before I moved to Wick. The one thing I would do currently right now is move Garrison back to center and move Mellis back to power forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if you don't make a trade, Garrison is a natural center. Mellis is a natural power forward. Garrison wasn't great at center, but he wasn't so awful that it's worth losing the production out of that you get from Mellis at power forward. Like, I mean, it just switch them back to where they were. Call it a day, do that. And then the other thing we talked about in the voice chat the other day is, Derek Ball goes up to A+ defense at point guard. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there as like an idea, does it seem like it's a bad idea? I mean, maybe, but he's got a pretty good assist to turnover ratio just as a shooting guard. So I don't know, man. Like, you trade Mac Pitcher and 2 firsts and you go out and get a legit, maybe even package him with one of your big prospects like Hazim or Marrero, get a legitimate shooting guard. You have Ball, a legit shooting guard, Colby, Itaru off the bench. I'm just throwing that out there. That's another idea too. So also, I really want to fucking see Derek Ball 3 at point guard. So, I'm always going to try to, let's make this happen.
Man, he can be at point guard somewhere. I just need somebody to DM. But yeah.
Wick, what you
already
got?
Giving up on Patio. Hate to see it.
Oh yeah. Hate it.
Yeah, to me, this is a really tough situation to inherit as a new GM, like a brand new GM to the league, because of all the optionality you have, because there is an expectation that this team needs to go in a win now mode. I'd rather be inheriting a team that's rebuilding, honestly, and I'm sure it's a bit overwhelming for C-Web, but you've got heaps of GMs you can hit up for advice. You got a few on this podcast whose DMs are open. You got Mophotocon.
Yeah.
Literally all 3 of us. This goes. Let me just time out super quick. All 3 of us to any new GM, we're all if you want to ask advice to any of the 3 of us, we will always respond, always listen. Might I get back to you super promptly? Wick's in Australia. I'm terrible at answering DMs, but we will eventually get back to you. So, just feel free. Anyone who's listening, you can always come to the 3 of us for sure. Mofo's always willing as well. And I know he won't mind me saying that on here. So, all right. Wick, continue.
Yeah, I think my concerns with this team are the same as the ones I voiced on our podcast a few days ago. I still don't like their point guard. I'm sorry, Devonta, but
it's okay.
I'm not a Mac Pitcher guy personally. And
I'm a Mac Pitcher.
I think Gurisim at center. Is just a band-aid. It's not a. It's a short-term fix, and I think it's something they're going to need to address. This team kind of seems primed for a Lino Pape. They've got the assets, they got the picks. Yep. That seems like a trade they could go for. Yeah, the options are just endless, though. As you guys have discussed, I'd be super overwhelmed if I'm C-Web.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely overwhelming.
I sympathize with him a little.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's overwhelming. But at a certain point, you just got to do something, though. Jump in the water, figure it out. If you don't make the best move, you're a new GM. We don't expect you to. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But
it's a learning curve.
Yep. Yeah.
You got to do it in order to learn it, though. Because, I mean, if you kind of just sit and just hope for the best, the best sometimes don't come. So,
yeah.
That's why I think
I'll be a little nervous.
He's going to quickly become a good GM. Because he's
I'm a little nervous, though, because he let Cruz walk in free agency. So now any free agency now, I'm just scared. So I would hate to see DB3 going free agency. And it's just nothing just happened because it's just like what?
I think honest to God, I think if C-Web did not show interest in bidding on Derek Ball 3 in free agency, Mofo would just fire him immediately.
Yeah, fire
and then put a bid on Ball.
Yeah, CPU bid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you can't 100%. No, that's a franchise ender, right? If you lose DB3 in free agency, if you make a bid on him and you lose him, I mean that's one thing, but just not even putting a bid on him, you can't do that.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah,
and for the standards
for activity in this league have increased since Brendan's firing.
Right, we're raising the bar up here, guys. I mean, come on now. Yeah, My last piece of advice is not to C-Web, but it is to Devonta. Derek Ball's a bending free agent. Stay the fuck away from him. I swear. I yelled this at you at the voice chat the other night.
Yeah.
You cannot. If you trade your entire future away for DB3 and then you lose him in free agency, you're quitting. I know this, and it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's you can't do it.
Nah,
You can't. It'll be Hucker times 1,000 at that point. So
I genuinely might not talk for a very long time.
Right, yeah.
I might be on my bro shit.
I'll send you a message like once a month or two and be like, "Hey, buddy, you still alive? Like, how we doing?" Text me real quick, but yeah,
it's gonna be a one word answer. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I'm just say why, like
a thumbs up emoji. Yeah,
yeah. Not even a word. Just like
right, yeah. Thumbs up emoji. Like I'm texting my dad something important. That's all I get back. You know what I mean? That's all I need from you too. So
I know it's scary too, because for him, he does have. He have 3 pending free agents actually. I know you mentioned the long name guy.
Yeah.
Him.
Colby. Colby Ball. Yeah.
Colby and Ball. That's another thing I'll just be scared of. Just the pending free agents, because now it's too much of a risk. Because now you have. Well, I don't know if the long name guy would really be a max guy. No, he probably wouldn't. I mean, we never know in this league because people just get desperate and just do stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like. So let's just say for whatever reason, all 3 of them are max guys. It's like a likelihood of somebody leaving. I never really seen one team have 3 possible max guys and 1 free agency. So that's also scary. I think just me instantly, I would want to trade one of those guys. I mean, probably be Kobe first.
Right. Yeah.
Just because I feel like he's that piece that you can move and actually get something that you really need, aka I really feel like a center.
Right.
And honestly, that team would be primed to win because, like Wick say, get Pap. And I mean, it's going to be it's going to be an interesting team in the West for sure.
Holy shit! It's 4:30 for you.
Yeah, don't mention it. I just in the time. Don't mention it.
It's 3:30 for Devonta. It's 4:30 for me. So
yeah.
Oh my god.
By the way, one quick follow up to our conversation the other day. The correct pronunciation is Chrysostomos Lagudakis. So it's Cree at the beginning. It's Cree at the beginning because it's Greek. So
Chrysostomos Lagudakis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget that in like
Chrysostomos
2 minutes.
Lagudakis. Yeah, you're CL in my book, buddy.
Don't
worry about it.
All right, let's fucking wrap this shit up. Prediction. Have our predictions changed post TC, or are they still roughly the same as what they were pre TC as far as finals and stuff go?
Yeah, mine are the same.
Yeah, same. Knicks in 6 beating the Mavs.
Okay, Wick, you're still holding out for. I was about to say you're still holding out for the brotherly finals. All right,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Pistons Grizzlies too. So I mean, hey, we're all in. Let's go. You know, my long shot, because I always do a long shot. It's become tradition around here. My long shot that I have is I had it in my brain. Give me Pacers over Rockets. That's my long shot. I like it.
I don't even think that's like a crazy long shot.
It's not, but it's not the Knicks, the Pistons, the Raptors, or the Spurs, right? So it's like it's still a long shot, Yeah, I'm not picking like give me fucking Lakers over Celtics, like you know what I mean? Like we're keeping it somewhat like come on.
Long shot. If I had to pick a long shot, I would say Thunder over Cavs.
Okay. Yeah, and that's not even a long shot either, right? Yeah,
it's really not.
Right. Yeah. Wick, you got one?
Fuck.
I know I'm making you think again.
Give me. Since we're talking long shots, give me Bucks over Clippers.
Okay.
Okay, that's a long shot. Okay,
that's a real long shot, but
yeah,
I feel like it fits with the premise of the question.
Can y'all imagine Kiki winning a championship?
I can't imagine it. It's a long shot, but it's
Hey, it won't be like a negative thing, and it won't be like I can't stand to be around this, or it won't be like oh, I am so mad that he won. But if Kiki does win a championship, I'm leaving the chat for at least a month. I mean, at least I'm giving it at least a month buffer before I can come back in that chat, because I just know how it's gonna be. So yeah.
In my other league with him, he's got 2 rings, and yeah, it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, sounds
It
like
was
it.
awful.
I'm out.
It was
I'm
as bad as you would expect.
Yeah, worse, probably about what I expected out of Jackal, and Jackal wasn't even that bad. So I expect what I expected out of Jackal. Shout out Jackal for not being that bad when you won. All right, I'm done with this. We done?
Yes.
I'm done.
We're good.
No, it's go to bed.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes. I'm gonna end it, and then y'all stay on for just a second. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone for listening to this long ass fucking season podcast. I hope that you listened to all of it, but you are a crazy person if you did. So shout out to you. But yeah, we'll be back. We might do one mid-season this year. We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
We should.
Yeah. If we get the time, I got a busy April, so as long as it's out of April, then we should be okay. But yeah, so thanks all for listening. Thanks for joining. Catch us next time. Yeah, that's it. Go league. Right. Bye.